Look at that. Right on time. Hello. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone.
It is the Mover Gonky and now Wombat and Doug show, but appropriately titled The Mover and Gonky Show. So welcome. We are back for another episode. 30 episodes, dude.
I didn't think it'd last this long. This might be it.
That's like 69 hours.
Some people may actually say it hasn't lasted this long. You guys are just logging onto the internet.
True. Valid.
You know, it's like the new Curb Your Enthusiasm trailer. Don't be sad it's over. Be sad that it lasted this long. I'm not saying it's over. I'm just
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Be sad that it lasted.
You said that's what she said earlier.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Hey, Wombat, welcome back.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bam.
Be back.
Look at that
Nice,
guy.
dude.
Look at that guy. Question.
Brand new.
What is this?
That is an A321 Neo.
Is that why it has the raccoon eyes? I thought it was an A350
Yes.
because of the thing.
No.
Hey, are the
Okay.
windows no kidding different, or is that?
What's that?
Are the windows
It's just
no
the
kidding?
design of the. I don't know, dude. How would I possibly know anything about aircraft?
Did you check the
ridiculous.
door plug
Nobody
prior to
would.
departure?
No, because it's an Airbus, and I'm not concerned.
Don't you check windows and doors closed, right?
Yeah, I did.
Is it the same
But not
kind of?
door plugs? Like
Oh,
it's just the Neo. I mean, it's a 321. It just has the new engines, the Neo. That's all.
nice.
It's nice. It's a very nice
Alright.
flying plane. It had 4.5 hours on it when I took off out of Hamburg.
Was it empty? Just you and?
Me, my best friend Clipper from the book, two line
I thought
check
we were your
pilots.
best friends from the book. What the hell?
Sorry
Wait.
that you thought that. I don't think
Two-
either of you are even in my books. So
Wow.
Wait, did you say two other line check pilots?
yeah, so there's two line check pilots that have to go that are qualified, and then there were two on our particular flight. There were two like delivery coordinators, like one maintenance guy and one just logistics guy. They basically just watched movies and slept. So
That's awesome.
except for when we had an issue in Iceland and
Are you
couldn't get
allowed to
the
say
jet
that?
fuel. What?
That they watch movies and slept. Did you just?
There's nobody on the plane. What is their job airborne? Why wouldn't they?
does
They're
that,
not
does
even
that airplane
pilots.
have first class
Monitor.
cabin?
Yeah, so it's normal first class. Apparently, I kind of want to do it again like in April or May, we start our Neos are getting the lay flat seats, a few of them in first class. I know. And I'm like, where is that? Because I would have just been out when I wasn't flying in there. Because that's what I did on the way over. Because I flew over first class in a 330 with the.
Well, how long was the trip back? Like, how long would it take?
The leg from Hamburg to Keflavik was 3.5 hours, and then after I landed in gusty crosswind blowing snow for the first Delta landing of that plane. I think we were on the ground about 1.5 hours because we had some issues with the fueling, not aircraft issues. It was just so cold that it wouldn't take the fuel. And then it was 7 hours from from Keflavik to Mini.
Was it a Navy landing?
No, neither one of them were. They were both very nice, and they were complimented on. And I have allegedly excellent videos of all of it that I cannot post or share with anybody. So,
oh god, why are you getting
from the jump seat? From the jump seat. I don't.
Right.
But yeah, it was a great trip, and I really hope I get to do it again. Hamburg was super cool. It was a fun town. Linking back up with Clipper was super fun. He has not changed one bit. And yeah, it was
cool, man.
I can't believe they let me do it. So, but I'm happy they did. Flew great. And then that picture's from a plane spotter, MSP plane spotter, I think is his tag. He does great photos, but he hung out. We were so delayed. He hung out like all day waiting for us.
There was a plane spotter that got you in Germany too, but I don't know who to attribute it to. I stole this from your Twitter, so you're on the hook for that one.
Yeah, no, there's a guy that got us taxiing out in Hamburg past the big
Beluga.
Yeah, that thing is cool to see.
I saw that. Yeah,
that was pretty neat. So,
and you've got merch now.
That's like old merch from the last time because we have the whole new T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, everything. It's gone live. It's crazy,
dude. This is where we intercut the merchandising. Spaceballs.
Sorry, says the two guys wearing merch. That's not even a dig on me. Like that's exactly what you're doing.
We're self-sponsored, Wombat. We self-sponsor.
How am I not?
We don't have lay flat seats. We're not.
Yeah,
it's still merchandise. It's still a Spaceballs reference. I'm sorry. Just so you know.
Exactly.
All right, moving on. Doug, how was your weekend?
It was cold, and I stayed inside and played video games.
Oh, look at that, man! Nice.
No, we're gonna talk about that later.
Which the cold or the video games?
No, don't take yourself too seriously.
Mover, how about you, sir? How was your
cold? I accidentally tried to buy a Z06.
You gonna tell the people now or what?
So, no, I didn't buy it. The guy ignored my email, so I went to take the old Yukon.
Like completely, he never. I haven't gotten closure on what.
Never responded. So I took the old Yukon in for service, and when I was there, the shop guy's like, "Hey, come here, check this out. Have you ever seen a Z06?" And I'm like, "Why? I have not." So, he cranks it up. I'm like, man, that sounds good. And he's like, just wait for it to warm up. And he's like, I can't let it warm up that long. I'm like, why? He said, because it starts missing because like the camshaft or something's not aligned right. When it warms up, it starts pop, 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 misfiring. Well, when I went to pick up the Yukon, the new engine had arrived, and I'm like, hey, is it the same guy? We checked the signatures on the engine blocks and stuff. It was a different dude. And I'm like, so what's the deal? He said, well, this guy paid like $25,000 over MSRP for this thing. His wife is yelling at him on the phone, don't buy this car, when he's in the finance office. He drives it off, it starts misfiring. He turns around, drives it right back, and then it sits while they try to figure out what's going on. And then once they figured it out, they're like, this thing needs a new engine. He cancels the check. His wife says, no, I told you not to buy this car. Cancels the transaction. They're like, we don't know what we're going to do with this car. So I'm like, I don't have any money, but I've got friends that are like, you should do it. And that friend is Wombat. So
don't let not having money stop you from chasing
I'm like,
your
I don't
dreams.
have these funds, but he's like, you just do it anyway. So I already had the sales manager's email from back when I had money. And so I email this guy. I'm like, here's the deal. I'll take that off your hands because obviously nobody wants a numbers not matching Z06 now. 10 grand under MSRP, lifetime warranty, and you give me your first 0-1 allocation. Questions? I'll pick it up when the engine's installed. And I never heard back. I don't. Yeah, those crickets. Those things are still going for like 10 grand over.
Dude, he's
not one with a
blown
motor.
Yeah, he's probably.
It's got a brand new engine. It's got 14 miles on it. Yeah,
it does not matter, man. That thing lost so much value.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. That was my biggest concern when I had my GT350 and they started having those motors blow up. What's the similarity? Oh, they're both American-made flat plane crank.
5.5 liter first year.
Anyway,
actually, this is the second year because it's a 24. But whoever the Justin whatever that signed it wouldn't buy an engine off of him. But hopefully the other guy that showed up, his signature
but you don't
on
know.
the thing.
But you
have
don't know.
No idea.
So
no.
That was my concern with the GT350 is if the engine blew, now you have a non-numbers matching, and that just kills the resale value. Kills it. So frankly, 10 under MSRP was probably too high of an offer.
I've already got a numbers matching 0-1. So I was just going to, do the Wombat thing and figure it out after and have too many Corvettes in my garage.
Wombat
anyway, speaking of sad news, the Lunamobile's dead. It's been dead since the second of the year. Damn Ford. They decided that
that'll
they're not
help
going
with
to fix
the sponsorship.
it. Yeah. I'm a GM guy. So
I love it, dude.
How's that working out for you?
I don't have any sponsors right now. Anyway, Gonky, what you got, man? Before I continue, I told you
nothing, man. It's like Doug. It's cold, freezing cold weekend. We did ride motorcycles, did a little polar bear ride. But other than that, man, it was just trying to keep the pipes from freezing.
Gonky, you ever ride a dirt bike on a frozen body of water?
I have. When I was in high school, I don't really care for it because I end up on my butt quite a bit.
Okay, I was just checking. I want to know what happened if you actually have talent, because I also fell down.
Yeah,
so it's no different than not on a frozen body of water, other than it was colder when you're
very cold.
Very cold.
From the audience, Joe says, "Hi guys, Airwolf, cool."
Oh,
As I was waiting for the show to start, I watched the debrief outtakes video again. It still cracks me up, dude. That was funny.
Yeah,
that was a funny show. Garrett says, glad to see you guys did not get canceled because of the last episode. You have a Marine on one time and it all goes downhill. Don't worry.
Valid.
After I put out the Ukrainian stuff, people are probably taking out a hit on us because it's a very sensitive topic.
On you.
Us.
I've noticed a lot of things that we just talk about. Like people, man, it's like a switch.
Mad.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Mad. Did Mover change his camera position? Yes. We've been working on that. I don't know if it's better or worse.
This one goes with your OnlyFans account better, right? Yeah. This is the...
No, because I had the stand, the webcam on the stand. What happened was when I would hit the rudder pedals that are sitting here, it would knock the camera off and I would never have a consistent thing. So I was like, I've mounted it now. And,
hey, the good news is it doesn't look like you have zip ties.
That's what I told him.
Camera arm anymore. So no, still not the same.
Now it does.
A little bit. Yeah.
And then Big Cheese says, did you guys notice there's no more deep intel? Oh boy.
Yeah.
He seems to have broken it. Words. That's why we can't have nice things. By the by, congrats on the delivery flight. I love when it happens.
We didn't mean for that to happen, man. I'm a fan of Mooch's Tomcat stuff.
Honestly, what he should have done was like double down.
Yes.
Deeper intel.
Yeah. Super deep.
I'm so lost right now because
I know.
Hey, can we go back to what somebody that you skipped over because we started talking about your zip tied janky microphone? Somebody had mentioned the rest in peace of the 2 Navy SEALs that were.
Did they? Did we miss that?
No, it wasn't one of them.
It was one of the comments that you brought up. It was right at the end.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think that's worth noting.
Where did it say that?
Yeah, there it is.
2 SEALs, yeah.
Jared, yeah.
I'll be here all night if you guys need other help. Just let me know.
Thanks, why you're the instructor.
Yeah,
that's right.
The internet's pretty difficult. So, but yes, in all seriousness, that was tragic.
Yeah.
And prayers.
So the one I read, the one SEAL got bumped off,
fell, and then the dude jumped back to go get him. And
yeah. And
that's what
trying
to
board a Dow, right?
Yeah,
they're trying to get on one of those Dows. Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
Well, very sorry to hear that. But thanks, Wombat. Thanks for doing that. Hey, Doug, I got this one, man. Don't worry. Don't you worry. I got this. Moving on to our
You
topics.
just didn't want to hear me
Happy
say fighting falcons again.
Birthday. Yeah, you got fired for that reason. For this reason, I am out. Happy birthday to the coolest jet in the history of all the jets. And what better way to celebrate it, honestly, than this awesome video?
This is pretty wild.
We're just going to show Viper videos, and then I'm going to reminisce about the world's greatest aircraft. But check this out. This is in Denmark. I thought those were birds.
Vipers like fireflies.
Don't worry, it's the sound of freedom, and your hearing will improve at the hearing.
Dude, I want to be a Denmark Viper pilot. Dude,
if they keep doing that, they might be looking for something.
Well, I think this was I don't know the context. I just saw that and I was like, man, that's
amazing.
Cool. But
it's probably DCS.
No, man, of course not.
I don't know, man. That looked pretty real.
I just want to point out as well.
DCS is real.
DCS is real. Not Israel. Is real.
Well, I mean, they have DCS too, I'm assuming.
Okay, I just want to point this out here. The U.S. Air Force, because even to this day, people still get mad at me. Continuing the celebration for the anniversary of the F-16's first flight. 50 looks good on you. Viper 50. Okay, and then Edwards Air Force Base, on behalf of Viper 50, we proudly present 2 new heritage tales. I'm going to mute this so you can see it, or so you can hear it. Can't hear it, but we'll see it. They're having a fly-in this week of all the Vipers, and it's the 50, but they put a Fighting Falcon on there, so that's not helping my case. It's the anniversary of the accidental flight, because as many of you might know, they didn't really mean to fly it that day. It just kind of happened. But like many accidents, it turned out to be a good thing in the end. A lot of families are started that way. And that's the Viper. So one more. I got one.
When was its second flight?
I nobody cares. It's always about the first one. So we got one more thing that I want to show you guys because it's not going to open.
I think it's wild. I think it's wild, man, that basically all the 4th gen airplanes are 50 years old. So it's crazy to me to think that modern fighters are a half a century
That's
old.
because you are also old.
I'm approaching a half a century myself.
10 years older than me. Actually, it's 9 years now because I'm about to be 41.
Hey, is this that picture of him buzzing the yacht from a different angle?
Yes, it's a different angle of the yacht video.
Oh.
So let us watch this.
Wow.
Dude. This is his wingman, which is good. You stack no lower than lead. There's the boat.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's totally fine. I don't know why he's so high.
Oh, look at that. Dude, he got a little bit of, did he get the trails off the?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the trails there. So happy birthday to the world's greatest jet. I mean, 9 Gs over Mach 2.
Configured properly.
Of course.
It's
cool.
Single seat, man. Multi-role.
Yeah.
What else
Cheap.
do you want?
I'm sorry, affordable.
Well, there's been, I think it was like 4,500. I don't know. I read the number and now I forgot it, but there's a bunch of them out there, all the way from, the early blocks to Block 70, which is now what all the nerds call the Viper, even though they're all Vipers. And the reason they were called the Viper was because when it first came out, Battlestar Galactica, be a nerdy thing, I don't know. They had a fighter that was called the Viper, and it looked like the F-16. And they were like, we don't want to be called the Fighting Falcon. We want to be the Viper. It's just like the A-10 is the Warthog, even though it's the Thunderbolt 2. The Rhino, people come up with nicknames all the time that have nothing to do with
was it the Panther? Nobody calls F-35. Is it F-35?
Fat Amy.
Yeah, I know. But that's its real name. But what's the official name?
The Lightning 2.
Yeah, nobody calls it the Lightning
Well,
II.
it can't even fly around Lightning. Why would it be called the Lightning II?
Also,
I mean-
no sequel's ever as good, right?
No,
So
exactly.
Why would you say
Of
the
course.
Lightning II? Like, we've
That's
just
right.
run
Yeah.
out of names of
So-
aircraft.
Yeah.
So I will say, having flown that jet, I miss it a lot. I flew it, you always remember your first love. The cool thing about the airplane, it's like an Iron Man suit. You get in, not a lot of room, but it fits comfortably. It's got unlimited visibility. I mean, you feel like you're sitting on top of the world, kind of a magic carpet. There's no canopy bow. So, your frame of reference is just, you're sitting on the nose of a bullet, and you go out there and rage, and it's a lot of fun. It will hurt you. It has killed a lot of people because of its performance, because it's a 9G jet, because the onset rate is high, because it can sustain 9Gs. I flew it before ATAGs, and I remember many times where you'd pull till the lights would start to dim, and you're like, oh God, I need to ease up here. Okay. But ATAGs has improved that, obviously, but still, it's definitely a jet you got to respect, because it'll hurt you if you don't. It's not quite as capable as far as how much stuff it can carry like other jets, but it's still a workhorse in the CAS platform. They used it a lot in the last 20 years and all the wars we've been in, including even before that, 30 years prior. But it's really cool, and I'm proud to have been a part of flying that jet. If there were one jet I could ever go fly again, I think I'd weep to be able to go see an F-16 again and get in it and fly from the front seat. Could make that distinction, because I don't want to be sandbag. Which here in a second we're going to show the fam flight from Miss America, which just for the nostalgia, not to make fun of Miss America, because I think what she's done is awesome, but just to show kind of the what goes behind the scenes. But I don't know, guys, what do you got? I'm getting a little weepy here, because man, I missed that.
No,
jet.
man, it's a cool jet. I mean, when I was a kid, I make fun of Iron Eagle, but dude, if in the 80s, if any movie came out with fighter jets, I was watching it. Right. So I mean, I think all 4th gen airplanes look awesome. They came from a time when they were designed like right after the Vietnam War, when designers like, we need airplanes that can maneuver and have lots of power, and it just stealth wasn't a thing. I think stealth looks kind of, I don't really particularly care for it, but I think I'm vain. It's a great looking airplane, and it's an airplane I would have loved to have flown, but didn't get a chance to. So I'm jealous in that regard.
Yeah, now was it Fallon? The Fallon guys are flying.
Yeah.
Viper.
I mean, I haven't been flying them for a while, man. I don't know.
Fallon hasn't.
F-16.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. The reserves, the Navy Reserve Fallon jets. I think they're old Dutch
Red
jets
Air.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, just incredible aircraft. Very fortunate to have flown it. And Wombat, you got anything for
I
the
have
Viper?
questions. Does it have auto throttles?
No.
Does it have 2 motors?
No.
Does
The EPU?
I was gonna say
the EPU. Kinda.
Why?
Hydrazine.
When everybody talks about the Viper, they talk about multi-role, which is
Correct.
the Air Force way of saying multi-mission. Am I right?
It's multiple roles.
Yes. So why is it not an F/A-16?
Does
Sounds
the Air
like it's
Force
trying to
have
be
any
something it's not.
FA jets?
Yeah, that's a Navy thing, man.
Apparently.
Well, I'm just
The
saying.
Navy.
I mean,
Well,
so-
why does the Navy call it Strike Fighter Strike Fatron 20? Like, why is it Strike Fatron?
that's
all these words?
heritage back?
Well, but they tried that with the.
Why does
Raptor,
everybody in the
remember?
Air Force wear a flight suit and pretend like they're a pilot?
No,
I mean, if we're going to throw stones back,
What
and
is
forth-
happening to you, Wombat? What are you
No.
doing?
Like when they gave the Raptor its first air to ground capability, they changed the name temporarily to
Oh,
FA-22.
yeah, it was FA-22
Remember that?
for a
Yeah.
little
Is
bit. Yeah.
F/A, and then they're like, "This is
Yeah.
dumb," and they dropped it, even though the Raptor retains some limited air to ground.
Well, I'm just
So
saying, like, it just seems like it's not.
they just don't do that.
Yeah. Well,
We don't
mean,
do that.
that
Do you have
doesn't
any other
fix the
questions?
single engine and
They do
no
tack
auto
initial. We do carrier brake.
A4 was a single engine aircraft in the Navy.
Yeah, and we learned from it
A7?
until the F-35.
A7.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the
didn't fly
F-16
the
was
A4
the,
or the A7 ever. It was
but
before my time.
but the F-16 was the cheap version. I'm sorry, was the
said
economical
it.
alternative to the
Cheap.
Eagle.
Yeah, it's 100% a cheap
Yeah.
version aircraft.
Just
That
like
doesn't
the
make it
Hornet.
any less or more cool. It's just
Just like the
cheap
Hornet
aircraft.
was, just like the Hornet was the cheap cheap version, the cheap alternative to the Tomcat. I mean,
Yeah,
The
100%.
Viper beat the Hornet, just so you guys are aware.
totally
The
different airplane, bro.
YF-17.
Totally
Yeah,
different airplane.
Yeah,
16.
that's not even.
Totally
We got-
different airplane.
We got
Mover.
the winner. You got the loser. Anyway, moving on. That was this weekend, so it's not happening today. But did you know today is the 40th anniversary of Airwolf?
Really?
Really?
I did not know
According to
that.
this person.
Dude, that's even more important than the Viper, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't
Really?
have any, I didn't bring any slides for that, but
Hold
let's
on.
just talk about Airwolf.
We
We got a producer for that.
We
We got a producer for that that can fact check it.
Yeah. Douglas.
But if it is, let's just
40
say
years, dude. Wow.
Airwolf is the greatest 80s show.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like in the right, all things.
At
Talk
worst,
about-
But
he's
is there
not the only
anything-
one claiming that.
Is there anything that makes you happy?
I mean,
What is
I'm
wrong
very
with you?
happy. But to say
Dude.
that was the greatest 80s show.
Yeah.
The
Dude.
greatest.
Well-
Theme show, helicopters,
Show.
Stringfellow,
Yeah.
cello,
Dude,
a dog.
when I was a kid, it was on my calendar. Hey, whatever it was, Mondays at 6 p.m. I'm watching Airwolf.
Mondays with a mover.
Yeah, but
that's
in
why,
your
that's why
defense,
mover is on
dude,
Mondays.
you lived in the
'cause
middle of the
Airwolf.
desert and there was nothing else on your calendar on Mondays at 6 p.m.
Oh,
That's not
okay. We're gonna
fair.
do a racism now. That's what we're doing.
There it
Wombat,
is.
All
I
the
don't think that's-
racism.
Look at that thing,
that he
man.
lived in the
It
desert.
turns
He did
35
live in the
today?
desert.
Oh, 40th birthday.
It's a
Oh,
repost of a 5-year-old post.
I'm
Wow,
older than
dude.
Airwolf, dude.
I'm old. Yeah. Wow. Dang, man. It's
Look
crazy.
at that thing, though.
Yeah.
Good looking helicopter. Okay, well,
And Gonky, if we're being honest, between your love of the things I've seen you love, Knight Rider would be far closer than Airwolf
Well-
based on how much you like old, crappy General
So,
Motors
okay,
cars
I-
compared to
No.
helicopters.
So that was on the list too, man. It was like Tuesdays was Knight Rider, Mondays was Airwolf, Thursdays was Dukes of Hazzard. I had my 80s favorite
oh,
shows.
that'll get you
Airwolf was
canceled right there. You can't talk about Dukes of Hazzard.
Also, I have seen you partake in beverages in a younger age, and you are far closer to how you sing and dance like David Hasselhoff than anybody that was in.
Hey,
Airwolf.
he is, dude. He's popular in Germany, dude.
I
Yeah.
am well aware. I got asked about him. So somebody asked me if
Chips.
I knew him while I was
we
over
have
there.
to talk about Chips because
So,
Larry
yes.
Wilcox watches the show. So- and I'm pretty sure Stringfellow would too if he didn't have a tragic death.
Oh yeah, so sad.
And Ernest
Griff,
Borgnine.
thanks, man. That's
Nobody's alive anymore.
Griff. I'm shocked we missed that. How did we miss?
Here's my pitch, Gonky. For our midlife crisis, we reboot Airwolf. Me and you.
Yeah, I don't know
You're
if you
the-
can do it better.
Well,
Like,
because
that's,
remember, it's like we watched one of these episodes coming back from Key West.
multiple.
Stringfellow had a love child from Vietnam. That's you. That's you growing up.
Yeah.
So you take over the family business. I'm a descendant of Ernest Borgnine, perhaps. Wombat.
What helicopter are you going to use?
I mean, Bell just came out with one that looks
Pretty awesome.
yeah. Or we
Yeah.
go Leonardo, make it a little Italian.
Yeah. Dude, it's like the original Top Gun. It's gonna be a tough one to follow.
But Maverick showed that it can be done.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
with the right actors.
Yeah, it did it. I mean, it did it. People
Us.
are always gonna, yeah, I agree. But
Wombat, you can be a part of this too. You can be
Oh,
the eye
thank
patch
God.
guy. No,
Thank
we need,
God.
we need an eye patch guy.
I
to-
was,
to
honestly,
our
the
idea.
reason why I'm coming across so bitter is I was so afraid there wasn't going to be a part for me in this genius idea. Of a
You can
reboot.
be the eye patch guy's girlfriend
Hard pass. Thanks.
in this new reboot. Shea Locomotive Productions.
Shay,
That's cool.
thanks.
I like
That's
trains.
cool. Same.
Tonight
man.
is the 40th anniversary. Thanks.
Yeah.
Shay. And Garrett says hearing loss on that boat is not service related. That's true because it was
yeah.
Turkish oligarch. Joe, who was cool and now he's not.
I like
Viper,
it, Joe.
the greatest fighter
Yep.
except the Hornet. Never lost to the Hornet
Fact.
though in the Viper,
Fact.
including DCS because Gonky's terrible at it.
I
What we've
like the
proven
ground.
from our documentaries is it's about the guy or girl in the box.
You can't say box, so to speak. Buff makes no sense
say
because the B-52 is pretty.
Yeah, I mean that's how it goes. Though. I mean, you don't always get the name you want.
Is Fat Amy as fat as we say?
She's
Yes.
thick. Yeah,
She's thick.
she's thick.
Oh, we already did that one, and for whatever reason,
Good to see it again.
Diane says, "Happy birthday to the mighty F-16. Didn't know it was Galactica base. I finally caught your stream. Love the show.
Thank you.
Diane.
Thank you.
Juan Pedro Fizzanati. You killed my father. Prepare to die. A good day to listen to the Dos Gringos song about the Viper. Wish I had a gun just like the A-10.
Yeah.
All right. So how much is 50 air refueling
Cents.
Cents starts with a C, Gonky.
So
I know, dude.
that actually,
I know. Good. I'm just making sure you caught that.
Yeah.
that reminds me, his comment there reminds me of a Facebook post I just saw about one of my students from Meridian, who's probably a major in the Marine Corps now. And whatever squadron he's in, he like posts his patch and it's the F-35 and it says, have gun will travel. But then somebody comments like, but you don't have a gun.
Right.
And I thought that was hilarious. I was like, well played.
Yeah.
Great patch.
Had gun.
Had gun. Yeah.
Would
I was
love
like,
to
that's
travel.
an excellent.
Plexi says, as cheesy as it was, Iron Eagle made me fall in love with the Viper and fighter
Yeah.
jets in general.
And dirt bikes. You had dirt bikes, Cessnas.
Here's your controversial take. Aerial cinematography in that movie is better than Top Gun Maverick.
No chance. But
No.
on with the show.
Oh, 100%.
Well,
those Vipers.
maybe if you're
first of all, it's all
talking
real.
about
It's
if you're
all
talking
real.
about the race scene between the dirt bike and the
No, I'm
Cessna,
talking about all the Viper footage is better than because it's all real.
Well, so is in Top Gun. The first
you
Maverick.
gotta let it go.
Maverick.
Oh,
Maverick.
Maverick. Oh,
Maverick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maverick,
Maverick.
sure. But not the
Maverick.
original. Not the
No,
original.
not the original. Avgeek Joe says,
Nice.
congrats and thanks, Mover, but Major Bayo makes the F-35 Rock.
I don't know who Bayo is.
Beowulf, that's the girl that does the demo.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
air show's an air show, man.
Gonky used to make the Hornet Rock.
My first skipper told me, he's like, dude, if you just come into the break in a gray jet and make a lot of noise, people think it's the most amazing thing. And he's right. You don't have to do a whole lot to wow
It's
the crowd.
very easy. It's really easy.
And
You
then
just
it's really
posted a video like that, and people thought it was the most amazing thing.
and,
Even though in the
in a
video,
small jet.
you're like, I have no idea why I'm doing this, but I'm doing this anyway. This is
my flight lead, bro.
I
I'm a
was
good
at
wingman.
3,000 feet. Meanwhile, attack initial is at a mile. So good job, Gonky, for being out of position.
Nobody briefs this to
Standard.
me.
Big Cheese says, why F-18 rudders face inwards during the
Ooh.
cat shot?
Gonky knows this one.
Yeah, for the nose up moment. If you lose the rudders, you might go.
Yeah. And nose down is significantly shorter.
Explain it
than
till
nose
like
up.
I'm 5.
Yep.
Your words.
I just did.
It's
I used a
aerodynamics.
picture. If you lose the rudder
Yeah.
toe in, you will go like this off the cat, potentially.
Okay.
Sorry,
'Cause you
sorry,
don't
mover.
land on the stick.
Did they figure that out before or after their first cat shot?
So, gosh, I'm digging back, but my skipper was telling me back in the 80s they had some sort of failure in the flight control laws, and on the cat shot, the whatever failure it was, the rudders fared, and that's what happened. The guy went in the drink, and he didn't make it, and so they rewrote the software. I think it was one of the FCSD grades. I can't remember which one, but yeah, you need it.
Yeah. Probably
You
one of the
need
ones
it.
I've had.
Laura says, you do not
I agree.
badmouth Knight Rider.
I love Knight
agree.
Rider.
That sounds
Knight
like
Rider's
the dialogue in the new Reacher series. Have you watched Reacher season 2? Anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty
Some
good
of it, whatever's out. It's
dialogue.
good.
You do not mess with the special investigator. Who talks like that? Really? Rewrite your
He
dialogue.
does. Why don't you
Really,
tell him?
Jack?
Why don't you step up to him and say, "Don't talk like that"? And see how it works
Grab
out.
my god, dude. Right in the throat.
His bicep
that-
is the size of your head, dude. You can Krogma whatever. He'd still crush you. It doesn't matter. Sorry. Dude's
don't know.
giant.
You don't know what size my head is.
Auburn, I love. Thank you.
Auburn
Dude
alum
is
says
giant.
TC's Hughes 500 is light years better than, and he didn't write the dialogue, dude. Come on. TC Hughes 500 is light years better than Airwolf and a much better show. Magnum PI lasted for 8 seasons. What is wrong with you, Auburn alum?
I like Magnum PI too.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
no.
I'm a big Magnum PI fan.
Yeah, I
No,
like Magnum
no.
PI. But
No,
the
I
Hughes
mean-
500 doesn't hold a candle to Airwolf,
no,
dude.
of course not. No.
It
What do
doesn't have afterburner, doesn't have the
No.
rocket pack out
no Hellfires, no Starburst.
but there is
No,
a fly.
wow.
That's
You know
true.
the noise
It doesn't go
makes?
supersonic.
Yeah. You want me to repeat that? Betty says, great show as always. Would like to acknowledge the fatal crash in Oklahoma of an air evac medical crew. Yeah, most.
Oh wow, is that today?
No, it was recently.
Oh wow, that's sad.
Very sad. Major Bayo is pretty cool. Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick. Yeah.
Don't know him. Adam says, Rain and the Viper wins over Bayo and Fat Amy any day.
Well, that Rain's pretty good looking too, though. So
Rain Waters, the dude.
yeah, super nice.
John Waters. He's a man.
Yeah,
Not Rebel, not the one that got fired with the not that one.
I've been in his house. I've been on his podcast.
You're talking about a man.
Exactly who you're talking about. It was a joke, Mover. Can we
A
calm
natural
down
born
tonight?
man.
You're a little on edge. God.
One that does
35
it so well
minutes.
with the stone cold face, man.
Yeah,
Don't play
I
poker
know.
with him.
Yeah. Wombat.
I'm just gonna dig in deeper on this show.
Who knows?
it.
Have you guys seen the recent SNL skit about the
hilarious.
Alaskan Airlines incident? Curious to get your thoughts. Thanks for all that. I tried to send that to
Freaking-
Wombat. He goes, what is this? And
That's
I'm
because
like,
you send me these random
click on it.
links.
just click
I'm not
on
gonna
it.
click on random links.
Click on it. I will never put illicit links on your screen.
So one
Which
Mover
is why
my,
I don't click on them. It's the illicit ones I'm looking to click on. You're wasting my time with this stuff.
You're gonna get
Mover is
so
my
far.
my Twitter. I don't have a Twitter account except Mover sends me everything that's
I'm
worthy.
his aggregate.
And it was that I don't like,
curated content.
It's been like years since I've laughed at a SNL skit, but that one was
That one
very
was
well
pretty
done.
good.
Very well.
I like
done.
the end where they're like, we're still better in spirit.
We're the same airline where the guy tried to shut down both engines.
On mushrooms.
That's our
Right, on
second worst.
mushrooms.
That's our second worst now.
Oh,
We're
that's
going
like
to
a
take off
PR,
with the slides already deployed. I love
That's
the video.
what a PR nightmare, man. for
We're going to
Alaska.
Cleveland. Where did
Yeah.
we land?
in the
The
Pacific.
Pacific Ocean. No, that thing is awesome. You should just turn it on for 2 minutes and we'll just sit
dude.
here. That was like
We've got
bravo.
a lot of show to cover, you guys.
Very well done.
Avgeek Joe says Rain is cool, but Bayo uses flares, vapes, and burner. I think
Okay.
Rain uses burner and vapes.
Why are we going?
Yeah,
This is gone.
it's,
Never did.
it's only so much
Nobody
you can do
cares.
at an air show.
Scano says with Navy
So much.
fighters getting the early action. Wow.
Aliens.
Aliens confirmed. Wombat is
Aliens.
here. Early action. Do Air Force pilots feel left out? Do they ramp up prep for a deployment? Is it always tip versus body of spear? Tip versus shaft.
Oh,
I
boy.
can't. Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Sorry. I'm 12.
All right, kids.
What now? What happened? I've lost track.
No,
Uh,
dude, so I don't think no, because I mean it all depends on the conflict, right? Desert Storm 91, the Air Force guys got all the action.
Well, that's because we knew we were going in there for like 4 months, so they had time to get their tea times, set up their
Well, no,
hotels.
actually, the real reason why that is like the Navy hadn't completely, at least what I read, adopted IFF.
Hold on now. Hold on. The Air Force in 2023, correct me if I'm wrong, had 100% of all balloon kills.
See, so they're not being left out. They
So obviously
sometimes
they
they're tip
were
of the spear.
already ready and the tip of the spear that had to pop the balloon at the time.
Well,
So-
my
Valid.
son and daughter can sleep better tonight knowing that
Yeah.
they're under the
The
umbrella of safety
Raptor
of the United
Bros
States Air
are
Force.
on the case of the missing balloons.
Yeah,
All right, let's get back to our
regularly scheduled program.
We got a trailer for a movie that we have
Oh,
to react
man.
to.
Buckle
Douglas,
Yes, sir.
make it so, make it big, make it
See
fast,
if we
make it
get
loud.
sound.
up. Oh boy.
I already don't like it.
फाइटर वो नहीं है जो अपने टारगेट अचीव करता है
Oh God,
वो है
you gotta read it.
जो उन्हें ठोक देता है
Yeah. Patty. Okay.
आप
Why
सब
is she
इंडियन
flying
एयरफोर्स
them?
के टॉप एविएटर्स हो इसलिए आप सबको हैंड पिक करके हमने एक क्विक रिस्पांस टीम बनाई है
We couldn't
एक
find the
दूसरे को
English version of
जानो
this.
बॉन्ड विद ईच अदर जंग में इंटरपर्सनल रिश्ते ही काम आएंगे
No,
Caught you, Minnie.
Arrogant.
absolutely not.
कॉन्फिडेंट
चलो तुम्हें जम्मू घुमाती हूँ।
क्यों तुम्हारा एक्स यहाँ से था?
नहीं, पर शायद
You
नेक्स्ट
say,
यहाँ
come
से
let me show you my jingling.
Are we still watching this?
Hey, that's
awesome.
straight from Top Gun Maverick.
So the
And
push
Top
up.
Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Also Top Gun Maverick.
deadliest terror attack on Indian forces. हमले में हमारे देश ने 40 से ज्यादा जवानों को खो दिया.
बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट
Wait,
26/11
am I speaking their language? Some of that I understood.
Yeah.
पिछले 50 सालों में किसी सरकार ने उनकी इन हरकतों का मुंह तोड़ जवाब नहीं दिया, लेकिन अब बस उन्हें दिखाना पड़ेगा कि
Can we stop? I mean, are we going to watch this whole thing? Is that...
Yeah, we're gonna watch the
Watch
whole
almost.
thing. That's the reaction.
हम पीओके एंटर कर रहे हैं. मिशन इज अ गो.
Four F-16s. Happy birthday, Viper.
धोखे का जवाब. इनकमिंग मिसाइल.
See the guy in the back seat?
say?
Nope. Oh, he's got a Cobra.
हमने सुसाइड अटैक किया, उन्होंने एयर स्ट्राइक.
Are those Mirages?
Yeah, dude, that's their
टेरर
airstrike.
अटैक नहीं.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Pakistani Mirages,
दुनिया में मिल जाएंगे
Pakistani
आशिक कई,
Vipers.
तो मेरी
'cause
खुशी
India
के
doesn't
लिए
have.
तुमने मुझे रुलाने का
Yeah,
फैसला
yeah.
लिया है
पर वतन से
That's
हसीन सनम
Bright
नहीं
green.
होता. हर बार तुम्हारी ईगो की कीमत ये फौज चुकाता है, लेकिन इस बार उसकी कीमत तुम भी चुकाओगे. हीरो ने सिमट कर सोने से लिपट कर मरते हैं कई.
Oh.
ये मेरी टीम है सर और उन्हें मेरी जरूरत है.
पर तिरंगे से खूबसूरत कफन नहीं होता.
Oh wow. It's the old trick where you hide behind the big airplane to mask your RCS.
तुमने ऑक्यूपाई किया है. मालिक हम हैं.
Have you just turned into a Captain America movie?
इसकी वजह से अगर हम बदतमीजी पे उतर
I think it's a little mix of everything.
Oh my God. Please let there be advertisements at the end so this can just end.
पाकिस्तान.
Dang.
He yelled Pakistan.
I thought he was. Whew. Man, there's a lot going on in that one.
We are all now dumber for experiencing that.
What is
Oh,
wrong with
Wombat.
you, Wombat?
That
Oh,
was
dude.
horrible.
Dude, don't piss off the 4 billion
Yeah.
people, man. You gotta calm yourself.
Bollywood movies are 4 hours long. They need long trailers.
Are they that long? How long? Is it 4
They're
hours?
long.
Yeah, so
That was
I watched
horrible.
that. I watched that trailer, and at first I was like, "Oh, okay," and then it just kept wrapping in other movies.
What? There was a point of that trailer where you were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, really?"
Well, no, the beginning. I mean, look,
I know
man,
you don't drink, so what were you on that made
Well, no,
you think
living-
that was decent?
No, living overseas.
Oh,
Man, that's
first
how
of
they
all,
make movies.
There were some good-looking women in that movie.
Yeah,
Were they
I like the
CGI as
motorcycle.
well?
There were some good-looking airplanes in that movie, so that was
I like-
decent.
I like the motorcycle.
I like the Su-30 MKI,
The Viper.
the Viper. Well, it's a bad guy in this movie. I can't like the bad guys, obviously.
Okay.
In this.
That was horrible. And I think it's a little sexist that the woman's the helicopter pilot. Come on.
Why?
Are you saying helicopter pilots suck?
No, I mean you just did, but that's
I-
not.
no,
what
no,
I'm
I was
saying.
asking you
What
a
I'm
question.
saying is, why couldn't she be the lead? Why couldn't she be the fighter?
I
Pilot?
get the
Because
impression
in
she's
Fighter.
a
their
love
their
interest.
version of Tom Cruise is the lead, Patty.
Yeah.
This is their Top Gun Maverick, dude. Don't take that away from them. Look, they had all the elements. They were doing push-ups. They
Snowball fight.
hit the brakes. He flew right by. He
Yeah.
barrel rolled around a missile. He
Dude, they were on the
uh,
boat. They were on a
They were
yacht.
on a sailboat,
On a
probably
sailboat.
by some rich bar owner. They
Yep.
were on a beach. They played volleyball. They did a dance number, which I don't remember in Top Gun Maverick, but it's possible because that's when I went to the bathroom.
Someone died.
Um,
They got mad and they started
Somebody
kicking some
that
butt.
died and they got mad. There's a terror attack, which I don't remember. That might be Mission Impossible, though. So we might be conflating.
I like the Captain America bit they put in there at the end.
I
The bad guy looked like a Indian version of Bucky.
I'm just, you know what? Why did the Vipers have to be green? Of all the colors to make an
Because they're
F-16,
old. It's an old plane.
Well, why would you make him? I
They're
don't
just
know.
getting rid of it. It's the
I
bad
think
guy.
it-
Why is
I
the
think
Viper
it-
the bad guy?
I think the I think the flag is green and white, right? Pakistani flag. It's been a while. It's been a while. Don't the haters,
God,
trolls.
That would be a
All I
horrible
know-
fighting tactic. If
Donkey,
you
all
painted
I
your
know
fighter jets the
is
color of
that
the flag.
the comments of this are going to say the T is fantastic about 1 million times.
The
So you're going to have 1 million comments of people saying the T is fantastic.
Okay.
You know what that's from?
No.
I'm probably going to screw this up, but so a MiG-21 Bison shot down a
Okay.
Viper
Okay.
and was held in captivity.
Okay.
And the Indian guy said the T is fantastic when they ask him how his time was in thing, because that's like their stick it to the man.
Okay.
I may be wrong. I may be getting two different scenarios. I know a guy got shot down and he said the T is fantastic. I'm not sure if it's the same MiG-21 versus.
Yeah.
I got so many comments of angry people. I get them confused sometimes. I do know that a MiG-21 shot down a newer fighter.
Right.
And that's why everybody says MiG-21s. Nobody understands that any given Sunday, aware versus unaware, etc.
Totally possible.
There you go.
No, dude, so yes, the Pakistani flag is green and white. So maybe
Did you Google the T is fantastic?
No, I'm not that fast.
So that's going to be our new fighting tactic. So we're going to paint all our jets red, white, and blue. Now I see
no.
That would be Russia, dude. Russia does that.
It's the movie, right? It's like, who are the bad guys? I mean, I don't know.
If you have good script and dialogue, you should be able to tell who the bad guys are.
So you're telling me, Wombat, if Trees in Flight made it on the
Are we comparing
Bollywood
that we
screen?
just watched?
No, I'm just saying, would you be okay with the director of this saying, hey, I'll give you 100 million rupees?
It depends on the exchange rate, number one. And I've already gone on point saying that if somebody pays enough, Trees in Flight could be the next Brokeback Mountain for all I care. Just show it in my bank account.
Way to stick with it. Way to stick with it.
There we go, Wombat.
There's a man who's got a backbone.
Can't buy me.
Yeah.
I've never said I can't be bought.
Wombat's like, I'll even star in it. I will star in that.
I will star, and it won't be simulated.
I will sell out so fast and then just talk garbage about both of you. It would be
all access all the time. All right, moving on. From the audience, Adam says, funniest SNL skit in the 20 years, Janet Jackson, the cork soaking. Yeah. I like the one where it was Margot Robbie and Matt Shatt.
You didn't send that one to me, so I can't comment.
Yeah, that's older, Gonky. That's before I sent you stuff every day.
Oh, okay.
Aaron says, love your books, Wombat. Gonna get movers next. Hold on now. Why'd you start with Wombat?
Dude, it just gets better.
Hold on a minute.
I love it. Please tell me you got coloring books too before you get movers book. That would be awesome.
Says, so shout out to all the brave defense contractors in the chat. Can you talk about your experience with civilian contractors overseas? RMAF flying doesn't count. The only ones I had an experience with were like the contractors that ran like the Burger King and the DFAC. Balad.
We had them on the carrier.
You had contractors on the carrier?
Right? On that? Yeah, we had civilian contractors on the carrier.
Yeah, but they weren't like they're talking about. I think.
Yeah, not defense contractors. Just
they weren't like going out there like, I don't want to say the people, but
outside the wire.
Yeah.
Oh, they were
just
okay.
The people that end up being bad guys in all the Jack Reacher movies.
And I mean, those guys were awesome. They kept our planes flying, to be honest.
Right. So
I mean, I have no problems with them.
So the contractors we had were mainly maintenance.
100%. Yeah.
Our MWR guy was a contractor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Who got busted, but but yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah. But thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Juan Padre.
That was like the tech rep it, right? Wasn't that the joke with the eating on the ship? The contractors would tech rep it. They'd go to breakfast at the beginning of breakfast and at the end of breakfast so they could eat 6 meals a day.
Why not?
50 AR is so little that I could post 100 messages and you wouldn't get $5 US. I'm restraining myself.
It's 61 cents. He needs to post like about 53 ARS.
The least you could do is 69 cents. Let's be honest.
Aaron says, I'm going to get Gonkies for my little bro. He was 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines in Iraq back in the day. That's awesome. Nice.
There's a new one out. Just came out today. Just saying.
Of course it is. Gonky's up to his 50th book.
No CGI involved in this movie.
Oh.
Dude, I don't think they used a real plane at all. Maybe like the takeoff scene. Joe says, mover Air Force pilots best when hot air is involved.
That's
you
funny.
give us a stationary floating target, and we're going to try to knock it down to the best of our ability.
Yeah. Well, when you're, yeah, I've never actually trained to shoot down anything that's not moving, so it probably would be challenging.
Crazy Pete says, Team Indio, World Police. Auburn alum says, in studying the Indian military, it seems they buy the sloppy leftovers from the Russians and Chinese, and the Indian military forces up to task? Who would they side with, the U.S. or China, Russia? Dude, that was our breaking news.
Oh boy.
Didn't Pakistan go after Iran last week?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a strange dynamic over there, right? It's like,
well, so Iran launched at some what they called, rebel forces, those that were anti-Iranian forces in Pakistan, and they shot ballistic missiles. And they also shot ballistic missiles over Pakistan to get to Afghanistan or Iraq, right? Didn't they violate their airspace to go hit the stuff that killed the oil guy?
Yeah, they flew like 50-kilometer.
Oh, Al-Assad. That's what it was. It was Al-Assad.
Yeah.
They had flown over that to get to Al-Assad, and they were pretty mad about that. And then they had attacks inside Pakistan, so Pakistan retaliated. And I thought for sure that was going to kick off something.
Yeah, it's
getting rid of old ammo. That's all.
You're probably right, Wombat.
Well, a lot of those times that is what happens is like they'll call to calls like, hey, you pissed us off. We're going to, shoot missiles at dirt. And they're like, okay, we're not going to hit you though. So don't really.
Because this thing's expiration date was 2 weeks ago. So we don't actually know where it's going to go.
We got to show our strength. But anyway, Griff says, speaking of air shows, when the F-22 does the maneuver, which I think is called the Falling Leaf, which while deploying flares, is there any worry about adjusting them into the engine?
I don't know. Probably not.
Not if they're doing it. I mean, I feel like they would probably have ops tested this somewhere else. Wombat Reactions is why I'm here.
Me too.
Just tell Wombat there's an Indian E2 scene.
Oh,
we're talking.
Dude, we got to get you something to make you happy, man. Curious Mover, what you decided about your sci-fi book? Thanks for the chat. I started editing the damn thing. I'm like on chapter 2. It's not, editing sucks. Wombat, does editing suck?
I'm not a fan. I outsource it.
Well, I did. Now I have to go back through it and like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
What was I thinking here? Oh, I switched up the names for half.
And it's sci-fi,
so
that's different because it's like I could see it getting very confusing.
Evening from the Sunshine State. Question: can the temperature be adjusted in the cockpit? Yes, unless it's a T-38. And then sometimes it's either going to go full hot or full cold.
Oh, dude.
Remember that video of the instructor? That's exactly what you were thinking right there, wasn't it?
Yes.
No, that happened to me. Most miserable I've been at a T-38 was when I had a compressor stall and then it went full hot in the cockpit, and there was no way to adjust it because the valve broke.
Yeah,
dude, that was awful.
I had it in a T-45 where I almost blew the canopy because it got so hot.
That's what I'm serious. You're seriously going. I can't. I got to get back. I can't.
I thought I was gonna have to blow the canopy. Like
JP, you need to YouTube the T-38 video. Turn the heat off.
Mover, coldest place you were stationed
or deployed at?
Eglin.
What?
Well, I mean, dude, look at the places I've been. New Orleans, Eglin, Tyndall, Homestead. Like, where of those places? Eglin would probably have been the coldest. New Orleans never really got.
You didn't deploy it. You didn't go to Korea.
Well, deployed, yeah. Well, no, Balad. I mean, Balad in the winter was in the 30s and 40s, but not
I
like
love listening to deployment stories.
Temperature in the carrier is always 71 degrees.
yeah, just enough to suck out all your hopes.
Stuck on a boat in the middle of nowhere. Editing is the funnest part. Look, dude, we are so far behind. I got to show you this. You got to react to it.
Do you need me on here for this? I feel like I might get you guys in trouble.
No, dude.
Wombat, you just need to get your act together, dude. That's all we're asking.
We're drumming up some book sales for you, Wombat.
Yeah.
Need that
all right.
merch.
So this is Miss America going on her fan flight, which we highly support. We didn't get Wombat's opinion, but based on tonight's, we're not going to ask it because I'm afraid of him getting us canceled.
No, it's coming. You don't have to ask.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
You don't have to ask.
All right. There's the A-10 trainer. So this happened at Nellis. At the operational test squadron. So they've got a little bit of everything.
Can you give the backstory of this individual for anybody who doesn't know?
She won Miss America.
Yeah, she's from Colorado, right?
Yeah, well, at this time, she has not won Miss America. She has won Miss
Colorado.
Colorado. And there's a Ziploc bag for your crack. Sorry, just kidding. There's no crack. There's no crack. Please don't cancel.
So just be ready to make sure y'all.
So here is the training that everybody gets.
It has like slits and everything like that, so it's actually pretty small, but actually designed.
PA's doing a wonderful job here filming us.
All right, and
the most important part of the whole thing is if you don't sign that paper, it didn't happen.
Yep.
That's all we care about.
Right here at the bottom, y'all can see, hey, the last 10 years of some of the.
But there you go.
So basically, what we're trying to show you,
looks like they've got like a bunch of
her.
Most of the time,
yeah, that's her.
Those were whenever
How's this
like
dude get to watch the
or
video or the
like
brief
spin or
when
something
the
like
camera's
that.
right in his
So if
face?
you're able to get low and slow and actually do a good
Canopy. Canopy visor, seat kit, mask, LPU, 4-line steer, prepare. What do y'all say in the Navy?
IROC. That's all.
Four-letter words because you just punched out of an airplane and you're pissed off.
Canopy visor, mask, seat kit, LPU, 4-line steer, prepare. Is that what it says?
Oh my god.
We did IROC, right? Wombat,
Nerd alert.
Inspect raft.
No.
Options.
I am safe. Wombat.
I forget the rest, dude.
Yeah, so you don't have to actually know, dude. It's common sense.
I don't know.
I'm going to compete for Miss America in 3 weeks, and so we're doing joint.
Well, I'm just here because I'm a cadet.
Public affairs
Is she a pilot? Like
No, she's a lieutenant.
No, dude, you don't know this. You don't watch our stuff. She's not a pilot. She is
lieutenant.
a civilian pilot. She got her pilot's license. Her mom had cancer, and she went to the Air Force Academy and then did really well. So then she went to Harvard to do public policy because she's going to cure cancer, but she's got a pilot slot, but she hasn't gone yet because now she's Miss America.
She's a one-striper, man. Butterbar.
Second lieutenant.
That's what I meant.
Whatever
it is.
Did you win?
Sorry, one striper.
Yes, I miss Colorado.
Different LOR, Gonky.
Yeah. So trying to make it a positive thing for the Air Force, for everyone.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're being very modest.
So these clips right here.
That sucks.
I did not look like that when they run me off. I look like I physically ate somebody her size when they put me in there.
That's valid because I saw it.
Bring it around. There you go. Pull down to your chest.
Oh, yeah, this is clearing malfunctions.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Don't you feel more prepared now? You could do a 2-hour pull-up.
Pause it real quick, dude.
Do they still call it the Mae West?
No.
You think that's politically correct now?
Because that's what we called it.
I don't think they call that.
Yeah, but that was, dude.
That's back in the NAM.
Wombat, did you do the VR with me with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mover, do you guys do? Because in the Air Force, I don't think we did.
Yeah, you had to
use VR.
We used VR and had to land on the aircraft carrier, or it would kill you.
Really?
Yeah, it's probably the same program. We
Yeah, it
landed.
probably is.
You were trying to land on the. There were two versions. There were one where you landed in the woods.
Yeah.
And then there was one where you landed on the carrier. We always use the carrier because it's the steering.
Yeah, it's easier to see.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a comment on why they call it a Mae West, and it's very simply because if your parachute gets screwed up, it looks like two big boobs. Right?
Valid.
I'm trying to help.
You would have this contour be stitched in.
People want to know, Mover.
All right, and so
We'll be fine, Mover. It's on my channel.
PLF. This is PLFing.
Yep.
Oh boy, let's not bring back these memories.
What is the one you end up ass back head because you never did it right? Because you
No, it was like ankles, kneecaps, chin.
Yeah,
like, it was horrible. Dude.
It's the DCS PLF where the guy never does it right.
What's his rookie stuff up one step? Put you on that big box into a thing of rocks.
Yeah, that's true. In the rocks. What's he telling her? He's like, I'm talking to Miss America.
Allegedly.
She did win.
Yeah,
well, not at this time.
Well, I mean, it's not alleged. It's factual.
Those are some Air Force issue glasses, right?
So the first measurement is going to be
Oh wow, they go through in the Navy. Let me just point this out. Fam flyers just get whatever's helmet is available that
100%.
mostly fits.
Yeah,
in the Air Force,
do.
the fam flyer gets fitted, but in the Navy, they're just like, oh, Gonky's not flying at this go. Your face kind of looks like his. Let's go try it. They don't put it on a tester. They don't try anything. They're just like, here you go. Good luck.
Pretty sure I borrowed your helmet. Pretty sure I borrowed your helmet
for
once,
6 months
why it
in the
smelled
Air
like being a
Force, and I
sausage?
never got fitted like this.
Is that why?
They
Dude, what
never
is-
did this.
He's gonna place
What is-
these on
oh my
your
God.
temples. Just
Did you ever get that
They're
advanced?
fitting her.
Donkey?
No.
No.
Top,
Look at that.
with the measurement.
They use this as like a demo. Like here's
These
how
guys
we're
are
supposed
messing
to
with
do
her,
it.
Mover. These guys
No,
are
that's
totally
right.
messing with her.
This is right. This is how you get fitted for your own helmet.
If you're a
I
pilot,
have never had freaking.
A fan
I've never
flyer?
been fitted that way ever in my
Really?
life.
Dude, no.
I have.
Never.
I have.
You want to know how they
both
do it in the
at
Navy?
Kindle
They're like, there's some
and
spare ones on the shelf. Try those on.
Well-
That's all they care about.
No, Advanced, they molded. They did a mold of my head.
Yeah,
and
but
they
they
broke
made
the
that.
mold shortly thereafter.
There's 2 molds. He's got a big head.
Is there anywhere that
She's interviewing him.
Back home?
The bayonet's digging into your cheeks at all. Nothing.
Oh,
feels
that's
Of
where
course not, because it's a perfect freaking helmet that you
It's
just
brand
gave her.
new. It's all brand new
Yeah,
stuff.
if you want to, on the right side, take off your mask on the right side real quick.
Is that her academy ring? Is that a
It was
tattoo?
like this was. Oh wait.
Okay.
Is it supposed to be here, or is it
Yeah.
supposed to be like this?
The first way you had it.
Okay. I just wanted to double check.
Well, I bet you can't drop the mask in the Air Force, man.
I
Not
promise
allowed.
you, you're.
You can't drop the mask in the
So-
Navy.
Oh, wait. I
It-
think
It's
it-
literally
you can.
in. No, you
So-
cannot, dude. From engine start
It's
to
really
shutdown. Go
weird
look it up.
feeling.
3710.
It is supplying you oxygen.
I don't read.
I promise you. It's just forcing it into your lungs. So.
my ears are equalizing. Is that normal as well?
Is it normal for me to have hearing loss at this point?
I'm like feeling
Yes.
out of my ear.
60%
Dude, this
disabled.
tester sucks.
From the-
I'll tell you one thing.
So
The
you still-
testers
you
never
still
like
have
Yeah,
to
to
put
that's
that
true.
out there.
because they'll put you like 43,000 feet. Can you breathe? Like, oh god, again. It
Yeah.
is, yeah, it's fine.
Just talk normally. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool though. They got her all set up,
Yeah,
custom
but
gear.
it's- Yeah, it's fine
Yep.
to do that way at the moment.
Oh boy. No.
Oh boy.
No. Nobody runs it that tight.
Okay.
No.
You undo the legs.
No.
Yeah, you do. You do because these are Air
Here,
Force
just gonna-
that you can unclip. You don't have to waddle out to the jet like you do in the Navy because they could afford the little clippy clip things. And like
That
the
is
Navy
not
harness.
the reason I would never put it that tight. It's because I wanted to have children one day, and you get one of your boys caught in how far she just pulled that thing down.
You could clip. You could unclip it in the. It's the same. It's the same deal, man. You could unclip it.
You can't unclip it in the Navy.
Pretty sure you can.
No, you can't because that's why you had to step in the harness. That was the first thing I complained about in the
Come on,
Navy. I'm
Gonky.
like, why
Go
couldn't
back
we
to your
afford the
gold
clips?
wings.
Look at that.
And then,
I might be getting T-38 stuff.
You are.
You
getting
are.
this. You 100%.
I don't have one harness that I've kept that is clippable.
You get to keep your harness?
No.
I have one. I do.
Well, go step into it. Unless you bought
I
your
didn't
own.
say that.
It's in my daughter's room. She's sleeping.
All right, listen. Here now they're stepping or walking in the Navy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! They made her walk to the actual.
Yeah, where's
aircraft?
the van?
Yeah, this is not accurate.
Where's the van or the golf cart?
Which jet is it?
This is accurate because we do this before every flight.
Of course you do.
Pose
I've
with
seen your
pictures.
Pose with pictures. So it does. We talked about this last time. It does turn out that's the actual Viper she flew in front of or flew in. That's why you can see her helmet bag right there. So that is a targeting pod, HTS pod, and a 7.33 jet.
What? Why is it so loaded? I thought this wasn't this like the B. Is this the B course? No, this is
OT, operational test.
Oh,
OT
okay,
at Nellis. You'll see in a minute. They just fly around a low level. It's not. So, Gonky, we did this before every flight. I got to tell you, it's my least favorite part.
You really have to plan your step time. So
Yeah,
you're
You
not-
do.
really
Add 5
Because if
minutes.
the photographer doesn't have all the stuff ready, if they got to,
Yep.
change. Well, it used to be
I
film.
love how
now
little
it's
you
SD
guys
card.
wear of survival equipment. Like,
This is
it
my
must be
favorite
fine.
part. This is my favorite part. She's like, how do I? What do I do?
Just so
That
you
is
know,
not how you get in that jet.
No.
you can stand on the seat if you want. Piss off
Yeah.
the crew chief. Usually, you just
Also,
swing your
did you
legs.
see how long her harness straps were just dangling? That's
They should have rolled them up
Yeah,
before
Fuck that
could have
up.
helped her out. All right, so that's
All right, and then
Mover, can you see out the back of the F-16 when you're in the front in a 2-seater?
oh yeah.
Can you see straight out the back? Okay.
What do you mean straight out the back?
Well, like look behind her seat. There's structure. I was just
Some-
curious.
Because that
but I
canopy
think that's
that canopy
canopy.
closes, so you just turn and look.
Oh, I got you.
And the seat's canted, so you can see
Okay.
like she's at a recline right now. This is the most important part. Having done a lot of these, a dude actually died in Key West because they didn't know how to work the regulator and couldn't get the mask off and suffocated.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. So this is
Why
like
don't they just-
every time I would do a FAM flight or an incentive flight, it was you sat there and were like, show me how to go, to gang load, oxygen 100%, go emergency and 100% on that. Show me how do you put it on, take it back off, put it on, take it back off. Because dude, for somebody and it's that panic factor, right? You start to lose fine motor skills. When it first happens, it's hard for them just in general, the first time they do it. But then when they're panicking, they can't breathe. And the guy in the front, there's just no way. You cannot get back there to help him. You can't reach, can't do anything.
Yeah, that
and
sucks.
Dude
man.
ended up dying on a FAM flight in a Viper. So this is the most important part.
Mover, how many G's do you think that GoPro setup can take?
Probably more than they're going to pull. Viper doesn't have its own ladder, unlike the Hornet that you guys
greatest fighter ever. Yeah.
The Viper is the greatest fighter ever.
Look at that. Dude, look at that GoPro setup.
Dude, it's like stabilized and stuff. Why didn't they get her a 360 camera, though? That's all I want to know.
Because they just want to look at her. They don't care about any of the other.
Oh, boy.
Man, that thing has a lot of stuff on it. Be doing
Yeah, that is not.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Best sound in the world.
That dude's like the best.
That guy's a
launch
contractor.
Man, built 91. Crazy. That's a good looking airplane, man, for being 30 plus years old.
It's older than Miss America.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, AC my pod.
Did they go out as a two ship or is
Single.
it just a solo?
We'll see her in a second. She's just a solo. This is the flight. There's no audio. Which, dude, you got this great setup. They couldn't get the $50 splice so that we could hear what she had to say about the flight. Come on,
Wasn't
PA.
approved. Wasn't approved by PA Mover. Didn't want to risk anything.
This is literally PA's whole operation. So that, in case you guys are wondering, this is called. You can't see my mouse. The extra hose there is it's a PBG, pressure breathing under G. So it's an extra hose that there's a bladder in these helmets that inflates when you pull G's, and you get pressure breathing to the mask. And so it pushes the mask to actually give you pressure breathing to inflate your lungs. It gives you a little bit more G protection.
Did you have that when you first started flying it, or is that something they brought on?
The whole time. No, the whole time I had PPG. I did. So when I first started flying it, they were phasing out the vest. So I never flew with the vest. So guys used to wear the vest that would inflate, or whatever, and give you a thing, but nobody flew with it. I never flew with that. I just had the old G suit and the PPG, which helps. I mean, it really does when you're pulling 9 Gs and because when you pull G forces, the air in your lungs, you're trying to keep that in, and it helps force the air in. So there's some footage out there that somebody spliced to make this look like the first Ukrainian. Remember I sent you that, Gonky? They were like, it's the first Ukrainian female training for the F-16.
Yeah.
And some guy sent me a thing. He's like, oh, look, they're doing mill power takeoff. You never do a mill power takeoff in a 2-bag jet. It's a burner takeoff. The only time we did mill power takeoffs was in the clean jets. So this is burner. Scooting along there at Nellis. I don't know why she's something bothering her head or something. You don't move around that much.
Dude, the helmet's messing up her hair, man.
I think her hair's getting caught, probably.
I'm sure it's
That's
stuck
probably-
into her flight suit.
So it looks
how
like
they
what
don't
they
work.
did was they went out and they're like flying high, and they're going to descend down into a low level and just fly a low level. Because
Dude, I've never seen this angle of the F-16. It looks like it has a delta wing.
yeah,
It does, yeah.
It's like, where's the tail? Back there somewhere.
they should have given her a gradient tint visor so we could see her.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I always flew with. I know you didn't, Gonky, because in your Finny flight video, you look like a MiG-28 pilot.
Yeah. Mask down, visor up. That's
Is that
normally
her
how I
6
do it.
sack there at the left corner? Did they give her a six-sack back in the?
Oh, dude, I'm sure she had like
back there
a half a dozen of
well,
them.
we usually made them put it in their G suit, like right at the strap, so they could get to it. You wouldn't want it way back there.
I'd have them pre-open it.
Yeah,
dude.
Clip it right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
I just that poor ROTC girl I took flying. We were doing 1v1 with, or the 2v1 with the Raptor. We're doing the one circle, and she's just heaving. I'm like, I can't stop. I'm sorry. She's like, I'm like, just go call Mike. I don't want to hear this.
Oh yeah.
Wait a second. So can we just pause there for a second, just so everybody can? You were doing an incentive ride with a midshipman.
Fam, not midshipman.
Sorry.
So ROTC used to come down.
I'm sorry. So you were doing a fam ride with
so
a
ROTC used to come down to Eglin during the summer, and they were doing their little 2-week or 1-week thing. And so they go ride with us on normal missions. And so we are Red Air for the F-22, and we are doing Raptor support. And one of the things we would do is the ACM rides, where we would go out, set up a fight with the instructor, and the student would have to come find us and kill us. And it just so happened that this student wasn't necessarily the fastest in finding us. So we're setting up this fight, and we're just doing these 3G weaves back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And she is
very
curling
choreographed.
Her guts out. Like before the flight, you know, she's all dolled up and stuff. She's like, oh, this is going to be great. After the flight, she's like, I don't ever want to be a pilot. This is the stupidest thing ever. And I'm like, no, it's fine. The first time's not that bad. Yeah. But I felt so bad for her. But the thing was, you brief her before. You're like, look, unless you're dying, or, you know, we're going to keep going. Right, Gonky? I mean,
yeah, well, because it's
support.
like, so it's, hey, we're doing this flight, a mission. We just so happen to have a free seat. The mission takes priority over you throwing up.
you're a non-ref.
Pretty much, dude, 100%. Yeah.
She's just enjoying the scenery, dude, as she should.
It's a cool. If you're gonna do a low level, man, out there's a place to do it. And I mean,
that nape strap's so loose that I'm not sure why bother.
Oh, the chin strap.
Yeah. Which that's how I wore mine too. And people would always like, who cares? The mask will keep it on. It's fine.
Hopefully.
So one thing, low level, probably a good idea to have your visor down just in case. Hit a bird. You know, have to jump out real fast. But remember we used to say that, mask on, visor down.
Yeah.
Low altitude
the checks. Yep.
Yeah. They don't say that in the Air Force though.
And rad out too.
Rad out to the HUD.
Yeah, rad out to the HUD. Yeah.
Mask on, visor down, rad out to the HUD.
Yep.
Yeah,
because the barrel will get you.
So more than likely this is a 500-foot low level through one of the low level routes in the training range.
I think it's cool. I mean, man, with 2 bags, they probably have a solid hour and a half down low, right? Just kind of raging around.
Yeah, I mean, you can go up to 600 knots. So I mean, you know, they're probably raging around 540.
Yeah, but I mean, fuel wise, they mill power. Almost 2 hours, probably, right? Hour and a half.
Yeah, I doubt they flew more than an hour and a half because, you know, this is probably near the range, so it's not that far of a commute. So just rage around. And honestly, dude, for a first-time fam rider, this is about as good as you get because you're not really pulling a lot of G's. You know, you can kind of take it easy, or you could push it up if she's feeling good. Because that's what we used to do. And I noticed they didn't do an unrestricted climb. When I used to do these in the F-16, they would always get sick on the climb out because the way we would do it, we wouldn't have targeting pods or anything, but I would take off, suck the gear up, get to the end of the runway, and just squat the jet for the unrestricted climb. And I'd say 69% of the people that rode in the back would get sick. And then what we'd do is we'd roll inverted and then go right into the low level. There was a low level that went from Homestead down to the Keys, and we would fly that. And dude, that would always get people sick because of just the low altitude and all that stuff. So it's cool to reminisce about this stuff. I mean, for me, dude, incentive flights were one of my most favorite things that I did because it was just us. You know, your mission is, and now this might be a fam ride, but so the difference for anybody wondering, incentive ride is this is your mission. You won something, you did something cool. We're flying a dedicated profile for you. A fam ride is you are going out and observing our mission, just like the poor ROTC girl. And no matter what happens, we're going to do our mission unless you get sick or need to come home for something. So for me, when I would do incentive rides, my brief would always be, look, it's just me and you. This is your ride. This is as cool as you want it to be or as lame as you want it to be. This is yours. There's a couple things I'm going to kind of insist that we do just so you get the experience. One of them is to go faster than the speed of sound. And the other one's to go pull 9Gs. Because I think that, you got to get the full experience. But everything after that, it's up to you. And a lot of people, we'd take off. Once we'd roll inverted, they'd get sick. We'd spend the time cooling down. We'd go to the Whiskey 174, and then we'd do the boom ride, and then they would kind of get better because you got to burn off some gas to pull 9Gs anyway. But there was one guy, I'll never forget this dude. He was a bodybuilder, and all he wanted to do was pull 9Gs over and over and over to the point that I was just like, okay, we got to go home. We're out of gas.
I'm getting sick.
Because I'm like, dude, we'll do whatever you want. 9Gs again. I'm like, come on, man. Really? 9Gs again. But you can't tell him that. You get up front, you're just like, yes, of course, we're doing 9Gs all day long. I can take this all day. Meanwhile, in your head, you're going, oh my God, dude, I got to hit the bingo bug.
Should have been like, oh, sorry, it's a 811. We gotta go home.
Well, there is no 811 in a Viper.
Well, whatever the code was.
Yeah. Anyway. So that's I digress. What do you guys think?
I think it's really cool. We poked a little bit of fun at her just because, hey, pageants and being smart is her thing, and fighter piloting stuff is our thing. I think it's cool because now she has that experience, right? She's gonna go talk to kids and all kinds of people. And it's just an experience that she can pull from when people ask her about the Air Force in general. So I mean, I'd like to get a ride.
If in the jet, you mean?
Yes.
Just so we're clear. But in general, we don't care about it. It's great that she won Miss America. If we didn't poke fun of it, we would do this for any second lieutenant, of any fam ride. It doesn't matter if it's Miss America or whatever. It's all the same information.
Well, like you said, I mean, I've done quite a few of these as well, and it always put a smile on my face when I got one of these because it was kind of a chance to, it's fun to show people, right? And they're excited, and it kind of makes it exciting for you again. And you kind of get to, you make the experience. Well, the airplane makes the experience for them, but you're the operator of it. And I always thought that was really cool. I did them in the Navy, and we did quite a bit in the Air Force. That was one of my favorite things actually about flying the 38 is we were always, taking an airman up who won an award or, because we always had a back seat available.
Yeah. Wombat, you look angry. Do you have anything to add to this topic?
I am angry.
Did you guys do incentive rides?
Here's my problem I have with this whole conversation. I think it's awesome what she's doing. I think it's cool what they did. I'm very excited that she won Miss America. I think it's awesome that she's going to get her advanced degrees. I'm a little pissed off that you seem to enjoy getting people airsick as somebody who has a PhD in getting airsick. That you can just laugh about it. And just move on.
I laugh. Dude, I am a sympathy puker. If I know you're puking in the back, they have to go cold mic. If I smell it, like I would go oxygen 100% and go cold mic because if I catch a whiff of that, we're both sick.
No, Wombat, honestly, because we went through flight school, basically joined at the hip. There were a couple of people I've given flights to. I'm like, yeah, my buddy, he wore all 8 bracelets. He would take the pills.
Ginger snaps while throwing up.
Here's some saltine crackers.
Extract.
Yeah, keep eating these crackers the whole time because you don't want to puke with nothing in your stomach is what he used to tell me. So, dude, I got something out of that.
I'm an innovator. I really am. I'm a leader among certain groups.
That's right,
I just am a little upset that you seem to think it's funny that your ROTC girl was basically dying back there, but you had to keep fighting the raptor from, I'm assuming it was an Iranian raptor because you were legitimately afraid that you were going to die, or
you have to
knock that off.
No, you do. Mover speaks the truth. You can't, we've all had me, but I had a dude who was going to fly Army helicopters. He was an Air Force guy. And on takeoff, I put the gear up and he started puking. And I'm like, this is going to be.
Why so late?
And it was an ACM flight. And I mean, that poor guy, but he loved it. You know, he's kind of like you on that. He was throwing up and living his dream at the same time. Right? So, but we had one guy before you got there, Mover, who they had to, like, the medics had to pull him out of the airplane, and he got to the the PR shop or whatever it is, and he laid on. I mean, I watched them fireman like carry him. He looked unconscious to me, drenched in sweat, and he laid on the floor. Like, guys were taking pictures. I mean, but it was. You can't. I mean, your Raptor support, man. Like, lots of money.
I know. God help us if we don't. I mean, you can't knock off the fight. Something so important as a T-38 against a Raptor, because that is a very good fight. You're right. That is.
I used to give him the opportunity. I'd be like, "Are you dying? No. Okay, we're gonna keep fighting."
Yeah. All right, moving on. Atlas had an engine fire, and people got pictures of it. Douglas.
Yes, sir. Can we do the audio?
Yeah, we need to. We need the audio because we're going to talk about the thing. So at what time was this? Local time, 10:32 p.m. So after my bedtime. Was going from Miami to San Juan in Puerto Rico. About 3,000 feet. They declared a mayday, reported number 2 engine fire, requested a turn back. We're going to hear this, right? Are you playing?
I was just pausing it so you can narrate.
Let's hope they said mayday, mayday, mayday.
God help us.
God help us. That's right.
Rolling again.
Yeah, we'll tell you when to stop.
Giant 095 Heavy 1,700 times 5.
Giant 95 Archer, good evening. Radar contact if you need it. Speed is your discretion. Climb and maintain 16,000.
16,000 Giant 095. Mayday, mayday, Giant 095 Heavy engine fire.
You only said it twice.
Giant 95 Heavy, roger. Climb and maintain 3,000. If you're through it, you can go to 4. You're cleared to Miami International. The radar vector is fighting 180.
Good job on the controller. That was very like, hey, here's what you got. Although, granted, at this hour,
95 Heavy advised how many souls on board and fuel on board. You can expect yellow runway 9. Do you need time to burn fuel, or are you guys going to be good to go in?
No, we'll go ahead and land. We have 5 souls on board, and we have about 5 hours of fuel on board.
Okay, how many souls did you say?
5, sir.
Roger.
5. And there you go.
Giant 95 Heavy, turn right, heading 240, and I did miss it. How much pounds and time for the fuel?
We have 50
hours
tons on board and heading 240. Giant 95 Heavy.
And do you have a time for it as well?
That's an interesting thing, because we specifically teach that air traffic controllers don't care about.
Giant 95 Heavy, you got a hazmat on board?
That's right. The time.
Yes, we do, sir.
Because what difference does it make?
Yeah.
Like,
you're right.
I mean, 40,000 pounds of gas to an F-16 is a lot
which
different.
engine, and is it out already, or you guys are still trying to...
Why is he asking which engine?
It's engine
because of the fire. He's trying to tell it to the fire and rescue guys so they know which engine to put out.
Giant 95, did you guys lose it on the runway or in the air?
So he's asking this for FOD in case the runway's
Giant 95 Heavy, turn righting 280, and as you can, maintain 3,000, speed your discretion.
280, 3,000, Giant 095.
I've dealt with these controllers, and they're pretty good in Miami.
They're good.
They're always fairly helpful.
Busy
They'll
airspace.
give you what you need. Yeah.
Giant 95
Busy
Heavy,
airspace and a lot of different accents
go?
on the radio too, so it makes it hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have a
Say
lot of
again for
different.
Giant 95.
Heading 290, and how far do you guys want to go? You just want a 10-mile flying, or you guys want to go 20, 50 now? It's up to you.
About 10 miles of fun.
50
Roger,
miles.
expect the base turn 5 miles and flying 290 for Giant 95.
Dude's got jokes.
50
put you way over into the Everglades there. I don't think you want to go out that far.
Fuel conditions for Giant 95A.
The current wind at Miami is 210 at 3, and the altimeter is 3007.
So a little bit of a tailwind there.
Okay, 3007. Temperature, please.
So the reason he's asking all that is because he's running the little landing calculation to find out the landing distance with the weight, the density, altitude.
The altimeter is 3007. I just got the weather here. Dew clouds 2,500, dew clouds 5,000. Temperature 23, and the dew point.
Good on him for asking, in my opinion. Like,
and the weather there is still calm.
I don't. If the 7.4 is like the 7.3, I don't think there was a place to put
copy
that.
Thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
95 Heavy, fighting 340 to try to maintain 1,000.
But I know for the land app, the landing data app, you would put all that in, like density, altitude, all that stuff. All that stuff would go in.
Yeah. Tells you what your rollout's going to be, which is probably
Heavy, 7 miles.
How long is the runway there?
070, maintain 1,500.
12,000 feet or something on that one.
Going down approved.
070.
Oh, runway 9. There you go. Number 2 is out, so that's the inboard 1, 2
left.
So they don't really have a huge asymmetric thrust problem, right? With 3 engines left.
Shouldn't.
Doug, does this have the video of the
95 Heavy, contact tower 120.35?
Of it eating itself? That's
unknown.
If you look at the highlight at the end, it might be able to be there.
095 Heavy, made aircraft outside of Venice, 1,500.
No, I'll pull it up. I got it.
9095 Heavy, monitor target. Wind is 210 at 3. 210 at 3 on the winds, clear to land runway.
Did they do single frequency ops?
No, it's a different guy.
Is it? No. Good for them. Nice work.
Nicely done.
Do they have the crash guy meet him?
Heavy, can you exit or you want to hold there and have him give you a look over?
You missed the exit.
We'll stop here at Tango 8 and have a look at it.
Oh, he's going to take the next one. Next high speed.
Heavy, left turn near Tango 8, and then make a left turn to join Tango westbound, and then you can stop there for us to give you a look over.
Oh, wow. Made him make the turn.
Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have done that.
Yeah, I'd have just stopped either on the high speed or
the
straight
runway.
ahead. Yeah. So that's what it looked like.
Wow.
I love kids.
Mom,
That's
the
exactly what my
meatloaf.
kid would say.
Yeah. Daddy, is that an afterburner? Kind of.
It is.
Sort
You
of.
might see a giant one here in a second if they don't do this well.
That thing's glowing, man. Look at that.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
it was
that's a
eating
real
itself
fire.
bad.
That's a real fire.
Do they have any pictures of it after it landed? Like the
I haven't seen any. If
No?
they exist, I don't know. But
Dang,
I will
that's-
say, great job for the crew.
Yeah.
Did the Mayday.
Yeah.
So all the European fellers and
But only 2 of them. Only 2. It's 3. They did 2/3 of the Mayday. They were
Please
so
send
close. They could have
send
been
them
infinite
all-
so
all-
close.
Progress,
all hate
man.
mail to TR Matson author.
We're making progress, man.
So
Well, Atlas flies cargo worldwide, right?
good job for the controller.
Yeah.
That's why they said
Staying
Mayday.
calm, giving him what he needed, and they landed successfully. You can't be angry about that. Good job.
Negative.
All right. Moving on to the mishap that was less a great outcome. The F-35 has had a Class A mishap. Do you remember Gonky and Wombat, maybe VFA 204 or any Navy squadron where they lost a tool and they shut down the entire flight line and grounded everybody until they could find it?
VAW 117 while I was there,
Yeah.
VFA 97 while I was there.
It's not uncommon, actually, in the Navy.
That didn't happen this
Every
time.
I was there. No.
So we don't really even need to go through it. Basically, a misplaced flashlight in the F-35 engine results in $4 million in damage. The item, a handheld flashlight, was sucked into the engine's air intake during a maintenance ground run. So luckily, not a flight.
Right.
This was just somebody left a flashlight and ended up costing $4 million. And the big thing was they couldn't fix anything, right? Didn't it say that they Doug, can you scroll down? Wasn't there something about the I guess that's why the cost, because they couldn't just fix it. They had to outright replace everything. Second stage rotor, third stage rotor, fifth stage rotor, sixth stage rotor, fuel nozzle, bypass duct, high pressure compressor, high pressure turbine, and fan inlet variable vane. The report found.
What brand of flashlight was that?
I was going to say, asking for a
tough.
friend, I would like that flashlight.
That was my biggest question. How was the flashlight?
I would
Still
pay
works.
good money for that flashlight. Like,
But I mean, that goes to show you, attention to detail, accountability of tools. That's how you end up,
Well, I mean, I know in the Navy because I was an aircraft devo, but I'm sure in the Air Force the same way. There's a tool control program.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's one of the things you can fail on an inspection, right? And if you go, I've always worked on cars and motorcycles, and I joined the military. And when I actually went downstairs and saw how maintainers maintain airplanes, they literally in their toolbox account for each
Yeah.
tool.
Well, they
when
have the
job
little
is
card,
done.
the
Right.
the styrofoam cutouts. It's like this tool number, whatever is here, and it has to
Yeah.
be here or else. I don't know where a flashlight would be though.
But I mean, it always amazed me that the how meticulous they were with their tools. But that being said, and it being such a big deal because FOD does damage airplanes and kills people, like Wombat was saying, it wasn't uncommon to stop flight ops to look for a missing tool. And sometimes, you know, I was in my coat pocket, you know, or whatever, but they would, because it, you know, it costs $4 million if, or worse, a life or 2 or 3. So, yeah.
It's not the first
I got
time.
recalled from a combat mission for a lost tool. We found
Really?
it in the engine. Mm-hmm.
It was in the engine? Your airplane?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I still have it. They gave it to me. That was the agreement. I was like, I'm taking that with me. They're like,
Nice.
that's fair.
Wow.
It's not even that good of a ratchet, to be honest with you.
That needs to be on your desk, man. The paperweight.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
About as good as it's for. Yeah.
All right. Any
Yeah.
reattacks on that one?
No.
Straightforward there. Really
Yeah.
sucks.
No,
Yeah.
Tool accountability, attention to detail.
You know, before flight ops too, they don't do it in the Air Force, but in the Navy, they do a FOD walk.
They do in the Air Force.
Do they?
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess as
They
a
use
part
golf
timer, you never
carts.
see it.
You don't do the FOD walk, but
Well, we
in the Navy, you also do it. In the Air Force,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, it's maintenance. But you know, like on Sundays, they'll do at your current job, they will do a FOD walk, and a lot of pilots will join.
Yeah,
I've done
It
FOD
was-
walks in the Air Force.
yeah. I don't know. I'd never done one, but I know in the Navy, active duty, we would go out there and
Yeah, they do that. But I mean, tool accountability is, you know, it's one of those things, and you know what it is, dude. They're probably in a hurry, something else is happening, you know, distracted, and then next thing you know,
100%.
you know,
yeah,
I
no one's
feel
gonna
bad.
be like,
I feel
yeah,
bad for the person that this, you
Yeah.
know, in flash, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
well,
They're
yeah, 'cause, I
starting
mean,
over on all their quals, basically.
yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing. He or she might be like the best. Engine
one
mechanic.
mistake,
Right, and they make one mistake and they feel terrible about it, and then yeah, it sucks.
Speaking of mistakes, I guess mistakes. Cocky, you wanted to talk about this.
Yeah. Since when you told me we were having Wombat on, I was like, man, we get some cool E2 stuff. And actually, some of the emails I've gotten, people are asking about, hey, you should have Wombat talk about the E2 wire snap. And it happened 8, 9. It's been a while, but it's a really cool video. I mean, we'll play it and then talk about it.
Look at that pass. It's beautiful. What a beautiful.
Look at that. So the
plane.
wire snaps, boom.
Whoa, Nelly.
See you later. Right, the 60 feet off the water is the deck.
Look at all the
right? Below
hands.
that.
You see all the people? They're like,
Well, yeah, because that's
running.
common knowledge. That's what they
Look at
do.
that.
Is they look for
3
survivors.
pilots assigned to the screw
There
tops
you
of
go.
Airborne
Yeah,
Early
you can
Warning
pause it, man.
Squadron 1
Screw top.
Yeah, so
were
I-
awarded the Armed Forces Air Medal.
I mean, I know Wombat this happened after you transitioned the Hornet, but do you like how fast were those guys going when they went off the end?
It was rumored to be like between 60 and 80 knots.
60 and 80 knots. And what do you normally take off in the E2?
Same as a Hornet. Same as a Super Hornet. It's
Really?
130, 140 knots. Yeah.
So I mean, like, because when I watched that, it looked like the airplane slowed down a lot.
Significantly.
Cable brakes. And how much horsepower are we talking about here?
5,100 shaft horsepower each side.
That's 5,100 side. So I mean, that in my mind, I'm like, dude, how much power? I mean, I know turboprops work much better at low and slow.
It's very, very over. It's considered to be very overpowered down low for what it does.
Wow. I would suspect that ground effect probably helped those guys out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I
They
don't.
were
You know,
living in ground effect.
the thing that blows me away is being a carrier guy. I always felt confident in my airplane, and you can relate to, right? When you transition to Hornet, it was nice to have the seat, right? And you know, and that's one of the things I always admired about E2 guys and gals was they're doing this with no real escape capability. And you know, you always think, well, it's an E2, it's slower, it's safer, but dude, like this is a great case where literally everybody in that, and I would venture to say, would the NFOs even know what's going on?
Probably not initially. You know what I mean? They'd feel the
Yeah.
deceleration and then feel it give way, and that would be their probably their first indication. But I would be shocked if there was any communication between the front and back at that point. Typically, most of the communication was done by the time we pushed out a Marshall or pushed out the overhead stack. They kind of just wouldn't talk much for good reason, because we were kind of busy. And yeah, but they would have felt the normal deceleration is what I've been told by people close to it. And then it just felt like it just gave way, and they knew immediately the wire had snapped. They pushed the power up, because in an E2 you don't go to full power when you touch down like a Hornet. Well, because you have P factor.
So what do you, I mean, is there an arbitrary power setting you go to, or
you hold what you got? You just hold what you got. Because think about it, if you have all that P factor that you jam in, right? You could spit a wire. Now you have controllability. I mean, remember, it's a whole different type of flying. You're talking about a plane, and I know I've talked about it before, but you're talking about a plane that has two giant non-reciprocating engines, so they go in the same direction.
Right.
4 tails, but only 3 rudders. Right. I mean, it is a bizarre aircraft.
Why did they do that? Why didn't they kind of rotate?
Because the space on the ship, they would have to have 2 engines for each plane to replace. They'd have to have gearboxes and all that. Whereas if you have the same, because space is limited for parts, you could just have 1 spare motor, 1 spare gearbox.
Okay.
So yeah, the P factor is insane in that airplane. So that's why you hold what you got. And again, you live on the fact that, like, the reason you and I and the Hornet went to max or mil power, on touchdown is because of engine spool up time.
Yeah.
You don't have that same issue, right? But I mean, a lot of people look at the E2 because of its size and they're like, oh, it's slow, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's because of its size. Right. Like, look at a C5 that takes off. That thing looks like it's not even moving. Well, it is, obviously. It's because of how big it is. It doesn't look like it is. So, like, a lot of people are like, oh, was it weird going from the approach speed of a Hawkeye to the approach speed of a Hornet? And it's like, well, it wasn't that much different. I mean, if you watch Platcam video, the approach speed of a Hawkeye and the approach speed of a Super Hornet are identical. I mean, they are. So, but it's that between the P factor and all that, it was pretty crazy.
Did you guys have a settle off the? Do you guys have a settle procedure? Set off the cat?
Yeah, we would essentially. You would set the power. I mean, the power is already up on takeoff. Because you're at max power for takeoff, right? So you would ensure that you were at max power, and then you'd set an AOA, and if you hit the water, you would get out. If you were settling off the cat, the co-pilot would typically reach up and open one of the ditching hatches. So that way, if the fuselage bent, at least you'd have one way out. The NFOs in the back have a ditching hatch as well, but they take it out before the cat shot, and they stow it after the catapult shot, and then they take it out before landing. So it's completely stowed.
So these guys trap with pretty much a neutral power setting. Cable breaks, they go off the end. So if they firewall it, I mean, does the airplane try to roll?
No, it would be a yaw, and they did firewall it, and it did fine. Because remember, now you're also talking about qualified fleet E2 pilots that are used to that P factor, right? So
they just put in a Buddha rudder.
Which pedal?
The right pedal.
Right.
I don't know.
Right pedal?
You have to fly it. But
left turning tendency, right?
Well, I don't know. It depends on which way the props.
The nose, when you accelerate, the nose goes to the right.
Oh, it does? Okay. Then
goes to the right. So it's left pedal, like a helicopter. Yeah, it's left pedal.
So, but yeah, there was salt spray on the bottom of their aircraft. There was salt on the tail hook. They got very, 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 very close to the water.
That's amazing. It's amazing. But like I said, I mean, I can't imagine flying around. I mean, the boat's dangerous, and I can't imagine not having the ejection seat. The ejection seat won't save you every time, but it's nice to know that you have.
You flew a T-38 Gonky. That wouldn't have saved you in a lot of places.
Right, but not around
around
the
ship.
That's different. That's different.
Well, and I mean, that's when you think about it, right? It's the biggest aircraft with the most moving parts, with no ejection seats, and at the time, didn't even have an audible rat out warning.
Hey, was that an 8-blade?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. They were all 8 blades by then.
Yeah.
That really didn't make much of a difference as far as the thrust at all, between the 8 and the 4 blade. To be honest with you, it was very, very minimal.
Do you know why the cable broke?
I think it tube blocked, actually. I think they either had the wrong setting or it had too many traps on it and it parted when it hit the end.
Wow.
Yeah. So those guys did fantastic. The tragedy of that story is that they got air medals and nothing higher because it should have been higher. Like that's
Really?
DFC.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they got air medals. That's like DFC level flying. In my opinion.
That would be a tragedy if all they got was a.
I'm pretty sure that's what.
Yeah. Well, speaking of medals.
Thanks, man. Like I said, it's one of my favorite E2 videos because it's so hairy.
Yeah.
Speaking of hairy,
Speaking of Harry and medals.
Yes.
Segway.
That's right.
Gonky, this is yours, man.
Yeah, Doug, just read the highlights real quick, man.
The Duke of Sussex attended an awards ceremony in Los Angeles hours after withdrawing his high court libel claim. I think the libel claim was against the source of this story, and they really make a fuss about it. But anyway, Harry attended a ceremony at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills. He was inducted into the Living Legends of Aviation for his work as a British Army veteran and pilot. He was, Harry appeared at the 21st Annual Living Legends of Aviation ceremony, honoring those who make significant contributions to aviation and aerospace, hosted by U.S. actor and aviation ambassador John Travolta. The Duchess of Sussex, who had been expected to attend the event, was not present as one of their children became unwell. The Duke, 39, completed 2 tours of Afghanistan as a forward air controller and an Apache helicopter pilot, having flown countless training missions in the UK, US, and Australia. He served for 10 years in the military, rising to the rank of captain, and later founded the Invictus Games, a sporting event for wounded military personnel and veterans. Harry takes his place alongside other aviation and aerospace. I don't know why they put legends in quotes here, because Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong, including Buzz Aldrin. Okay, right. I got you. Jeff Bezos, Tom Cruise,
Morgan
Neil Armstrong,
Freeman.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Morgan
That's why it's in
Freeman,
quotes.
and Elon Musk. All right, then. And that's pretty much it for the highlights.
So I don't follow Prince Harry. But
what?
I know, shocker,
All
right?
about the drama.
I'm a red-blooded American. I don't like tea. I drink coffee. But anyways,
throw it in the harbor.
Thanks, Doug. While we were searching for cool stuff to talk about on the show, like this popped up, and it's like everybody. I just saw this list. Like everybody gets a trophy. Prince Harry winning the Living Legends of Aviation Award. He's in the same company of Robin Olds, Buzz Aldrin, Chuck Yeager. Sorry, mover.
Oh, this is going on your channel, Gonky.
That's right. That's not a slur.
Did you say Bob Hoover? Because I'm going to say Bob Hoover again.
He's probably in there too. I mean, there's a whole list of actual people, and I can understand. So if you go to the website, it's like, famous people who took aviation to the next level, including entrepreneurs and celebrities and stuff. Like John Travolta is in there, and I can understand that. But you look at Prince Harry. He did, one tour. I mean, he did one 10-year stint in an Apache, and if there's a lot of guys who did that, and I would argue that there's probably
Casmo.
Yeah, there's and if his acceptance speech of this award was really weird as well, and if just for sport, you can read the comments and everybody's pretty much like, why is this guy
what were his comments? What did he say?
So it was John Travolta that brought him on stage, hey, congratulations, here's your award, and then Harry went off on some weird tangent of like, hey, I was one when you were dancing with my mom and all this. He just kind of starts talking. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you're getting an aviation award. Like, say something inspiring about,
or at least something about aviation.
That's what I'm saying.
Just
say something inspiring.
Go to the Old Faithful from Independence Day. I can fly. I'm a pilot.
Yeah. It's really
the stage.
Really weird. So I like I said, I don't follow Prince Harry, but I dove into this a little bit, and I got the impression that like he gets a lot of hate, which I can understand if he's winning these kind of awards, because there's people in England that are like, vets in England who are like, man, I did more than this guy did. Why is he getting
but
this?
He also has veteran support, veteran outreach, so he's helping the vets in England.
Yeah, I guess. I thought it was in the company, the people who have won that award, it's like, man, I don't know. That's pretty weak. So I was waiting when I was reading up about like what he did. Okay, he flew the Apache. That's great. But I was hoping I was going to read some like he saved whatever. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bitter American, man.
So did Nick Cage. He didn't get the award.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think, man? What's your impression of that?
I think it's just, all these places, it's money, right? Money drives everything, and sponsorships and donations and all that. And I think it's good that Prince Harry does stuff for veterans. I think that's really good, and I'm happy that he uses his platform to do that. I do think it's a little sad because people aren't stupid. Right. I mean, so
it devalues it, doesn't it?
A little bit. It devalues it a little bit where you have people out there, that are on YouTube channels. I mean, Mover, you've had heroic people on your YouTube channel. And there's been others out there, and people watch this stuff all the time and they go, well, hold on a second. Like, that guy did X. And it's like, and it's people could read through the BS, but that's fine. Because again, he uses his platform, from my understanding, to help veterans. That's about the big redeeming factor that I'll give. But it's kind of like, man, it's like when somebody gets like an honorary degree from a university. It's like, cool. Like, what does that mean? Like, it's just a piece of paper, man.
Taylor Swift.
I'll take the dudes that flew that E2 and give them that award any day, right? I mean, So but that's what it is. I mean, that's the world we live in now, right? It's all
seemed a little,
It's all about image.
When you look at the company that he's in, and that, I'm like, man, I don't know if he could.
And he probably felt that way too. Honestly, I know I would.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. He have
his own problems, like the whole crown and the girl and all that stuff. Didn't this dude I
don't have royalty problems, man. I'm American.
Going down a path.
Yeah, we have no problems with our political system here in America.
Not politics, dude.
Okay, I'm just saying. He's got a lot of things going.
My bad.
I have no opinion on this matter because I don't know anything about British politics, and I don't care.
It's not politics, man. All right, Mover, we know. We don't want you to get in trouble, bro. It's all right.
I'm not in trouble. This is, like I said, this is your thing. I just don't know anything. Cool.
I don't know. Maybe I'll get an award.
You should. Best pilot ever.
No,
best DCS gamer in the history of all the gamers.
Well, on that note, we can just continue. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to our next topic. By the way, I see all the chats. We're just running behind on topics. We'll get to them at the end. I promise.
How long is this thing going for?
Forever.
Oh, this is
Oh boy.
I don't have highlights for this one.
Can I highlight it?
It's just a video, right?
It's pretty short. Huh? Do you want to see the video?
We just watch it like this. It's fine. So,
righty tighty.
They spotted missing fasteners at the Manchester airport in UK on January 15 on a Virgin Atlantic flight. And were those the fasteners?
Like I said, Mover, they're just trim, dude. It's just trim. No load bearing on.
Scroll down. So what happened? This was an A330, so it's Airbus. So Wombat, you can talk to this.
Clearly, I'm an expert in Airbus fasteners.
Sorry.
He noticed the 4 missing fasteners during a safety brief for passengers. So the flight attendant's up there giving them the what for, and he's looking out the window going, oh no, we're missing a few. And then I'm a good flyer, but my partner was not loving the information I was telling her and started to panic. And I was trying to put her mind at rest as much as I could. I thought it was best to mention it to the flight attendant to be on the safe side. Engineers were promptly called out, which is maintenance, not engineers. That's a British thing. And then because there's no engineers just hanging out on standby. And they found the 4 missing screws. What is that? Is that where is that, Wombat? Tell me what this is. What am I looking at?
It's on. You're looking at a wing.
Yes, the wing. Passenger, scroll down. Keep scrolling.
You're welcome. What else can
scroll down? Footage shot by Hardy shows the maintenance, not engineers, climbing on the plane's wing before using a screwdriver to tinker with some fasteners, i.e. screwing them in. Said the airline staff appreciately assured him there's no safety issue, but his fear was heightened given the recent ordeal with Alaska on a totally different airplane in a totally unrelated incident. So they canceled the flight. Like, go back, scroll down. Why'd they cancel the flight?
You know exactly why they canceled the flight, dude.
Flight ended up being axed to provide time for precautionary additional engineering maintenance checks, which allowed for our team the maximum time to complete their inspections. Safety of our customers was top priority. So this is not something you would even see on the walk around.
No, that's what I was going to ask Wombat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when's the last time you inspected the top of the wing? And this is the A330.
It's a secondary structure used to improve the
Keflavik
aerodynamics
for
of the plane.
snow.
There you go.
Well, that's a good point. So you would look at the top of the wing.
Yep.
For icing and stuff, snow. There's 119 fasteners, and they were down for 4. So probably would have made it. Probably would have survived.
Believe it or not, I mean, there are some parts of the airplane where you can have a minimum amount.
Yes,
like the engines can leak
100%.
a certain. The engines can leak a certain amount.
No more than X amount of fasteners missing.
So this is going to cause like every single person to be an expert in aviation. So there's going to be like mass cancellations. It's like this Velcro thing is not on here right. Take a picture, put that on Twitter or X or whatever it is.
Well, the speed tape, right? How many pictures have you seen with speed tape? And they're like, "Oh my god, it's taped!" It's like
it's West Virginia chrome.
That tape is on there better than anything else in the like.
Yeah, it's actually stronger than the metal it's holding down.
Yeah.
Actually. So
yeah,
they'd make the whole plane out of speed tape if it wasn't so heavy.
That's what happens, man, when this stuff gets in the news. I mean, everybody is all of a sudden.
So now I think they're going to have to add this to the safety brief. They're going to have to be like, and if you happen to observe any mechanical malfunctions outside,
please keep it to yourself.
Remain calm and notify a flight attendant who will let you know if it's something you should be worried about.
Valid. Pretty much.
Because you could just see somebody calling because, spoilers pop up and you can see through the wing and you're like, oh.
You know how to fix this, man. Just paint all the windows.
Yeah,
paint all the windows. No more view for you.
Wombat, I'm sorry, you're about to say something probably inspiring.
No, it's not. This is going to turn into like it's every year you get that person on Twitter usually that takes a picture of the wing and tweets it after the flight and is like, there was ice on the wing, and it's like, well, if you were that concerned that there was ice on the wing, maybe don't roll the dice on being on the flight and say something. But I promise you, the professionals in the front of the plane are looking at these things. Yeah. The professionals in maintenance are looking at these things. I will take 4 missing fasteners out of a required panel of 119 any day. That's not going to do anything.
But did you die? I mean, that's what
but the thing is it's going to, it's going to cause delays. It's going to cause problems because everybody will become an expert, unfortunately.
Everyone's nervous.
And they don't let and I get being nervous, right? Like, I mean, could you imagine being on a plane where a part of the plane blew out? Like, no, that wouldn't be awesome. But there are professionals in all of these fields, pilots, maintainers, flight attendants, everything. Like, let them do their job.
Do the job, yeah.
I promise.
Unless they're installing your door plug, and in which case you might want to ask them questions.
In that case, there was not a pilot, maintainer, at least daily maintainer or flight attendant would have noticed that. That was long prior to.
Well, and that's the thing, is the thing that gets you is the one you're not going to notice anyway.
100%. Yeah.
100%. But we do say, if you see something, say something.
That's true. Don't let us discourage you. Yeah.
Statistically speaking, it's extremely safe to fly in the air.
That's true.
It just is. Safer than driving to the airport.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, you're right. I mean,
people don't pre-flight their cars like they do these airplanes that they're looking at. Like I guarantee you, this person's car, they've probably like, oh, it's tire pressure.
It's got some wheels.
It's got the light. I mean, every time it gets cold, the tire pressure light comes on. I figured that's just the cold weather indicator.
Yeah,
when it gets warm again,
that other one.
Yeah. What do you mean check my oil? Of course I don't check the oil.
It'll tell me when it's not in there.
I'm not going to open the bonnet.
Yeah.
The thing.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thank you for that.
Very nice.
And then another scary one.
This one's weird, man.
Wombat, you know about this too?
I don't think I heard about this one.
Oh, watch this one. Tell me what you think. I'll be interested to see.
Two videos. You can watch make it big. So
sorry. You gotta turn up the volume on this one though.
Yeah, you gotta.
I don't know how to do that on this.
Click it. Click it. Click it. Click it.
Click which?
Just click it.
There we go.
And now click that bottom right. Bottom right. You keep passing it. Nope, not that bottom right. The video. The bottom right of the video.
Oh, there it is.
Watch it.
Not picture in picture. The one that says expand.
That
right.
one.
No, there you go.
Hey.
I'll have to start over now.
Take it back.
No,
Yeah, they,
fix it in post. So did they do a go around? Is that what this was? Oh,
Yes,
God, that's the
right
back
there.
end of
That's
the
it was
things
the
they
second
were-
one, right?
Yeah.
they landed, and then when they took off, bad things happened.
Again.
What do you think, Wombat?
What's that noise? Is that the hydraulic
Probably the
pump?
flaps going up.
Go to the second video.
It's the pressure bulkhead giving way in the.
The second video isn't actually a video, I don't think.
Hey, is that an actual picture of the
It's a
thing?
video of the still shot.
But that is that the actual picture of the thing hitting the tail hitting it? Wow, man.
Yeah, see, you're not gonna.
That's a
do
still
that.
shot. Now hit the right arrow.
Reference 356 anchor off runway 248, and can I ask what was the reason on the previous approach?
Okay, right, Delta 8 crossing runway 248, and we expect too long landing. It was why we had go around.
Okay,
So they landed long and didn't have a lot of runway remaining.
Liner Force 356, sorry for that, mate.
Reference 356 anchor off runway.
Yeah, see, if it was a Navy landing, you never land long because you just put that thing on brick one hard.
But Wombat, doesn't the? I mean, I know you've probably been in the A350 sim. Doesn't it tell you pitch like once if you
No, I'm
start
sure
to
it
over
does.
rotate. I mean, I know
Sure
the
it does.
Skybus, the 320 does.
Dude, but I mean, yes, I'm sure it does. But here's the point that I'll get at with that, because you know this. Like, how many times have you been in a plane with things going on?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I mean, you know, your mom could be telling you something right next to it. You won't hear it. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not, you tone so much stuff out that, I mean,
A
they
go
talk
around
about that.
retard.
Yeah,
It's
a go
so
around
many
after
things 'cause
landing.
yeah, it's not something we do.
Yeah, you got a point. I didn't think
We
of that.
practice that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
100%, because you got
practiced
to
it,
bring the flaps up and the speed
Well, yeah,
brakes and
Boeing,
everything.
you gotta
It's
do all
the
sorts of stuff on
rejected
it. It's not as
rejected
easy
landing.
Yeah, that's so when we Gonky talk about rejected landings, it's really a term from Boeing because it's a lot of stuff they have to do, unlike us, which is just
and flap.
Oh no, it's a big old thing in the 730.
yeah, it's a big deal, and there's a lot of things. If you get it wrong, it could really screw it up in a Boeing. But an Airbus is very simple. But yeah, they land long. That's the right thing to do. I mean,
yeah,
minus the tail stripe part.
Minus
well, yeah, minus tail stripe. But
Yeah,
again,
don't do that
because of the fact that they weren't expecting to go around. You make mistakes. It happens.
Yeah.
You get amped up, and all you do is over rotate it a little bit. And a plane that long, it doesn't take much.
It looked like it was a lot.
Does it feel? Does the 350? You've flown the 350 sim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like a 320?
It feels like a
More or less.
321, which I don't think you guys have, right? So it feels a little bigger than a 320, just like wing wise, like the way it rolls and pitches, and it just feels like it flies more like a wide body, basically.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Does it have a HUD?
Ooh.
I believe so. Well, it depends on they all do, whether the company that's actually flying it buys the HUD or not.
Did the one you flew had a HUD?
In the sim? No.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. We're
Well,
caught
good
up
thing
now.
nobody got hurt on that bad boy. So
yeah, no
that's
kidding.
the good news.
No kidding. Garrett says, Gonky, how much editing do you do on a book?
Believe it or
Less
not,
than
the numbers and the letters book I did a lot, but the coloring books are pretty simple. But I do
Those-
editing on them.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
Those sneaky letters and numbers are what
Len
really
says he
get
just
you in the
asked the
author
Marines
world.
to look it over.
None of them be mistakes. I can't do that.
Big Cheese says 30th episode of the Wombat Show is a huge success.
How did that happen?
Spartan says, hey, I work at
Nice.
Nellis and I was wondering, why do fighters land? I was
'Cause
wondering,
otherwise
why do
they'd crash.
fighters land? They are really close before they peel off and Okay. When fighters, why
Slow down.
These
you
words.
smell
I was
toast,
wondering
Mover?
why when fighters land, they're really close before they peel off and land. I think that's what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
Is that for spacing reason? Intel dude.
You didn't have to put Intel dude there, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's too easy. Too easy. That was a softball. That didn't even. I mean, that's
true.
not a challenge.
So I mean, otherwise it would. So it shortens the recovery sequence because you got a lot of fighters at the same time. So we got to stay together so we can get a bunch of planes landed quickly. That's really it. Just
That's
to get
the
your
main reason,
formation
yeah.
down. Yeah.
Plus, it looks cool. I mean,
Yeah, it's formation integrity. It's all the stuff.
let's be honest. You ain't getting Miss America in the backseat of a plane who's doing a straight in. Fair
She
enough.
might have. That might be why it cut off or it cut off. They might have come back as a straight in.
Oh, that'd be terrible, man.
Dude, going back to the fan flight thing, sometimes I had to.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 'cause
Sometimes
apparently
I
like
had to
getting
because they
people
were sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, okay, Wombat. So that was the one thing you could control. If they were super sick, I would do a straight in.
I would ask them. I would say, "Hey, you want to land like an airliner or a fighter pilot?" And it was their choice.
Did you ask it just like that? So there
Yes.
was no, there was no
100%. I
like
said,
bias.
"Do you want
to
to
it at
land
all."
like an airliner or like a fighter pilot?" And
No, it's more
when they
like
were
this.
Sick.
Do you want to land like a super sissy, wussy airline guy that's got no spine? You know, or do you want to come in like a
pilot that we call
fast?
spine ripper?
Yeah.
Your call. Totally your call. Whatever
Yeah,
you want to
dude.
do. It's on you.
I won't make fun of you about it. But your choice.
Yeah.
No, you don't, because they're usually like a deserving airman or whatever
Yeah,
that won
That's
some kind of award. Adam says, "I love how while she's getting fitted for the helmet, so to speak, you can see the wooden jets with outlines, and Fat Amy looks like a little gingerbread jet." Thanks, Adam. That's hilarious.
Thanks, man. That's awesome.
It's funny. Swaggable Tactical. Dude, that's an awesome name.
Thanks,
Bro, this is not going to save recruiting issues. No, because you got those psyops where they put never mind, on Instagram or Hamster. Hidden Force. Both Mover and Gonky have crashed in these hells many times. Yeah, dude. Does it look familiar? That's what it looks like. Nerd. Gonky's a good DCSer. Diane, D2 Abella.
Diane.
Tricia Helfer from the 2004 Battlestar Galactica did an experience flight, probably fan flight in F-16. And she solo pulled 9.2 Gs. Well, maintenance had to pull panels.
Well, yeah.
Big Cheese. It's amazing to see Mover slowly going back to his flying days, body language, lingo. So cool. That's sad. Great narration. Thanks. Janitor is back. Wombat looks like he would rather be working on Gonky's coloring book instead of watching Miss America's fan flight. That's just how he always looks. His RBF.
I was pissed off that you were making fun of people who get sick.
That's how he looked. That's how he looked in the front of the E2 his entire career.
Sick.
That's not true. I took a lot of naps in the front of an E2. Let's be honest.
AJS, is that a Porsche?
No, it's a Volkswagen.
It is not.
I can't tell. Sorry.
Does deployment of the 6-SAC have a brevity code or just a 4-letter word? Yes,
It
it's
has
called
a smell.
Wombat. You just yell Wombat.
No.
Make it a thing.
It's
Let's
just
make it a thing.
a puke bag.
Yeah. You know what the brevity code is? Cold Mike.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go Cold Mike. Let me know when you're back.
T45, you'd still hear him.
Yeah,
through the
yeah, T38
plexiglass.
too. Yeah, you could
Yeah,
still
that
hear
was
because you
awesome.
couldn't. Yeah. Zach G says, my stepdad is currently in Miami training to fly the 747 for Atlas. He knows one of the guys on the crew handled it well.
Yeah,
Agreed.
they did a great job.
They did.
Agreed.
They did it right.
And they said Mayday. Vulcan 03, is there a weight limit on fighter seats before you break it when you pull G's where it's going to loose or break something? No. Come on.
You gotta
The
break
jet
that
will break before the seat will break.
No.
You'll
The
break
seat goes
before
out
the
at
seat.
how many G's? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wombat Bombat. Thank you, Scano.
Thanks, man.
David Smith says the Royal Air Force called it a FOD plod, a much better turn of phrase. Don't know what he's talking about.
No, instead of
Fog
FOD
walk
walk.
Oh,
Instead of
FOD
FOD
walk.
walk.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
Big Cheese says, do NFOs on E2 rotate their seats for takeoff and landing to face forward? I thought they sit sideways to work the equipment. They
Yep.
do.
Forward for takeoff and landing, side for their job.
Nice.
How
Janitor's
about for a
back. Can you nap on the guy next to you? Harrison Ford is a legend for fighting against the belief that taxiways are not to be used for landing.
not
that's
feeling
funny. Yeah, true.
Ether 98. I consider Wombat heroic for getting in the cockpit of the E2. Wow.
So do we.
Wow.
So do we.
John says,
hey, man.
can someone nominate me for next year? I flew on Spirit Airlines once, and that took a ton of bravery.
Man, you're right up there with Prince Harry in my book.
Garrett says, I read it on Quora. I'm an expert. Trust me. And John says, going back to my nomination as a legend in aviation, I flew Spirit where screws were an option. Duct tape was a viable alternative. Sounds like Gonky's airline. Just kidding.
Pretty much.
Yeah, sorry, LOLs, says Spartan. And that is caught up. Gonky.
Look at that, man.
It's time to talk about our next fight.
You know what's funny? When you sent me this Hornet versus Mirage 2000, in the 5 hours, I'm like, was there a Mirage in there? Like, I can't even remember how the jets that we fought.
So that was 2 in a row where I departed from control flight.
Okay.
It's right after the flanker and then the Dorito, and you got your head caught. And you used that as an excuse.
No, that was legit. Because they have the cable coming out of the VR headset back there.
Of course they do.
You know, just like Miss America's ponytail, I got it caught on something back there. And
yeah, and did you see her complaining? No. Did you hear her complaining? No. Did you complain?
She wasn't flying. My honor was at
Neither
stake.
were you, some would argue.
Well, I wasn't, but my honor and my DCS honor was at stake here, man. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
If I crash one more of these jets, I got to start paying for them.
That's the one. That is the one. I ran out of bullets on that first set. Remember that?
That's all my negative G bunts that they don't do in the Air Force because they work.
You spend a lot of time defensive perfecting that tactic, so that's good.
Well, I mean, hey, look, if you're out of bullets, you can't kill me.
Yeah,
I had to win.
And dude, that wraps it up, man. That's the end of our show.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
2 hours flies. Wombat, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Was good.
Is this the first time?
Yeah,
is this the first time since last year?
No.
Did you catch that?
I do like that somebody just mentioned that the wrong date is in the upper corner of this whole thing, just so you know.
Oh, is it? Damn it.
What date? Oh,
professionalism at the highest levels.
This is what happens when you have a multi-crew.
Nothing
right happens.
I've changed it and forgot to upload it. It's too late now.
It's too late.
Hey, we are recording, aren't we?
No.
Have we been not live this
yeah,
entire
we've been
time?
We're just talking to ourselves.
Are you going to do a mental health minute, or are we not doing that?
What did we say the mental health minute even was?
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Oh, that's right. You're leading it. Go.
I'm not leading it. No, I'm not leading
You bring it up. You lead it.
Gonky, any thoughts on that mental health minute?
Don't take yourself too seriously. Well, if we're gonna do it, I mean,
no, okay. Like, I'll help you out here. Do you want me to help you out?
Go ahead.
On your podcast? Yeah, go ahead.
It's not mine. This is Gonky's podcast. This is the Gonky Live Mover Show. Anyway, so we talked about not taking yourself too seriously because I think a lot of people take us too seriously. And I've seen this in the comments recently when we did DCS stuff where, oh my God, you know, we had some pretty negative comments just because we were having fun. And even stuff like the Ukraine stuff, they were mad because we were making jokes and in between talking about serious stuff. And honestly, in life, if you take yourself too seriously, you are going to find that you're high stress, high cortisol. You never wind down. And a lot of professions with high stress, that's just how it is. You know, in a fighter squadron, we make fun of each other. There's dark humor sometimes, you know, there's gallows humor. Law enforcement, there's a lot of that. I mean, law enforcement is just as bad in my experience. And that's just how people cope with stress. And when you've got a core group of friends, you can do that. So I think in general, if you take yourself too seriously, and we've talked about that on previous episodes where, you know, we're talking about the debrief and being able to take criticism and then compartmentalize it and move on. I think if you can laugh at yourself, then you can kind of de-stress and unwind versus if everything is life and death, you're not going to make it very far in a high stress environment because you're going to drive yourself mad because everything is just so hypercritical. So that's all I really have to say about that. You know, this was kind of sparked because I think some people I mean, we got some wild comments on some of these more recent ones, especially like I said, the DCS. But I will say, if you're struggling, 988, 911, use a mental health professional, use your friends, joke with your friends. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about, because that's what we do. That's how we de-stress and unwind. And, because the moment you begin to internalize every little thing, you're going to end up, you can't carry that all by yourself. So, lighten up, relax. It's like I always say in the comments, lighten up, Francis from Stripes. What you got?
Yeah.
Sorry. Wombat. Sorry. No, Wombat. Do it.
No, I agree. And I think it's something, it got introduced to me with the writing more so than I think anything else in my aviation career, because I didn't have a problem in aviation when somebody told me I needed to work on things, right? Because frankly, I wasn't that great of a pilot. I had no background in it, right? I had to work really hard at it. It wasn't a natural ability. It's still not really a natural ability. I mean, I think it's become better, hopefully, but I think it's like, that's where kind of the motivation comes in. I heard something today where, your talent only gets you so far, right? And when you pass your talent level is when you really find out who you are and whether you really want to achieve the goal you're going after, right? Because we all hit our talent level at some point. And I think, like Gonky, you saw that in the military, right? My talent wore out super quick, right? But my desire to want to achieve getting my wings and being a carrier aviator and then eventually flying Hornets, etc., that never burn out, right? But so, and I like to have a good time. I mean, that's part of what Wombat actually stands for, kind of. Spoiler alert, you're not going to find out what it is, but it is. I mean, we would have a good time, and we were reminiscing about it over, my buddy and I over in Germany when we had some downtime, just talking about the Navy days and how you had to do that because it was such a high stress every day in and out. I mean, you were microseconds away from catastrophic death. I mean, done. Like you're not here anymore. That is not a world you could live in and be wound up so tight. We saw that in people and they burn out. They burn out. Then get out of that. And I get into a world that's not like that. But then I start doing the writing and people start attacking your writing, right? Like, this story is not possible. There's no way it could be true. It's like, yeah, dude, it's freaking fiction. It's literally in the fiction section of your Kindle, genius. Like, and it was hard, right? And then I realized I can't take these people seriously because what do they know? Like, they're just, and I've joked with both of you that I wish you could reply to reviews, because I would always just reply, well, please send me a link to your books and I'll gladly read them, because typically the people writing reviews haven't written any books, right? So, but I think it's important, life's too short. There's too many important things to take this stuff too seriously. Even today on a small level, I had a whole bunch of things on my to-do list. I was trying to get stuff done. I was trying to get ahead of things so I can come on to this. I finished my workout, and I remembered that here in a couple of weeks, my 5-year-old's going to do a mile fun run, like, how they do those types of things. And I was like, screw it, I'm going to go run with them. And I mean, I don't run. I don't enjoy running. It sucks, but it was fun. It, like, just joking around with him and having a good time. Yeah. And, I wouldn't trade that for a minute, because when you have your 5-year-old boy looking up at you and he goes, Dad, you're not that bad at this. And like, you just have to laugh at that. Right. So it's, and he's wrong. I'm actually really horrible at it, but it's things like that. And I think you see that on social media. The two things that drive me nuts about social media is you get people that try to be something they're not on both ends of the spectrum, right? They're either, super poor and they try to sit in front of Learjets or Gulfstreams to show their status, or you get the people that, try to pretend like they don't have a dime to their name, but they're actually, doing pretty well. And then it's people that take everything so freaking seriously. And it's part of the cancel culture that we're in, right? Like, you trigger one person, they get upset, everybody's upset. It's like, come on, guys. Like, the whole point of this is we're all on this planet together at one time. Why don't we just help each other out, try to have a good time, do the best we can, and leave something better than you got it. And that's it. And people are having a real hard time with that.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot to add. I mean, as a Christian, I look at it. I look at it like this. As soon as you, at least for me, as soon as I got around the idea that, hey, we're all broken people and nobody on earth is perfect, right? Jesus was perfect. At least that's what I believe.
Sure.
So, automatically I'm like, okay, we're all damaged goods. At that point, you got to humble yourself. And I think that's part of it. You can't, if you take everything so seriously, you're never going to be able to take any constructive criticism. You're never going to be able to help yourself, help others. It's just, it's very self-consuming. So, I mean, Wombat said it right. I mean, life is kind of short. You might as well enjoy the ride. It's not it's not your circumstances. It's the decisions you make. So you can decide, whatever happens to you, you can decide how you're going to react to that. But I mean, you guys pretty much nailed it. Doug, I mean, you're kind of the smart one on this stuff. What do you got, man?
You always do that. You guys do such a good job. And it's like, hey, do something better. Well, I don't take myself very seriously. So I don't take
That's what fighter pilots
seriously.
do, Doug. Haven't you noticed that by now? Like, totally tee it up to say all the right things and get the credit. And then we're like, hey, what do you have, expert?
I will point out that if you really want to get into the dark humor, you need to hang around in an emergency room for a while. I know some ER docs and nurses, and they really have a lot of compensation mechanisms.
Yeah,
I bet.
That's about it.
Again, that's a stressful environment, right? Like whatever they need to do to compensate. If I'm on the cutting table, like please do. So
if you're not used to it, it can be tough. I grew up in a law enforcement family, and I was just used to it. And I got out in the real world and got around people who weren't sociopaths, and it was like, oh wow, this upsets people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw a thing on Twitter today where this woman posted, it was hilarious because I liked it 100%. I was like, those are facts, but it's like, you're trying to hurt my feelings. It's like I grew up holding a flashlight for my dad while he was working on his car, you know what I mean? And like the things that your dad would say to you because you can't hold a flashlight right and all that. And it's like, it just goes to all this. Like you have to enjoy it and laugh, man. I wish people would laugh more. Maybe I'll do it a laughing coin or something. Like it's like, dude, just chill out. Like but we've all flown with people like that. Military, civilian, it doesn't matter. It's like, calm down, man. Like it's not like the door blew. Like we're fine. Just kidding.
So some people do take themselves very seriously. I may or may not have triggered a canine guy last week.
YouTube's full of
No, this is not YouTube, dude. This is real life. So there are certain
YouTube is real
factions
life.
within the agency that do not like Luna and me. They hate us. They think
Wow.
they're not fans. There's just really one person. But so the Luna mobile's been down for a while because of windshield and turbo and all that stuff, and they're going to deadline it, so we don't have anything. But we wanted to do this event for a children's museum because we've been scheduled forever or whatever. So they let me borrow this newer Durango, right? Real badass, real sweet ride. And the canine guy was super mad about this whole thing, the fact that we were using their nice spare and all that stuff. So when I returned it, I've got the Luna cards, right? You've seen the Luna cards. I don't have one here, but it's got Luna. It's got Luna doing this. The backside of the card is just Luna. It's this picture that we made with the card. So when I turned the car in the next day, I hid those cards. I had about a dozen of them, and I put them everywhere. I put them in the visor. If you pull the visor down, you open the mirror, something like a fighter pilot would do, right?
Yeah,
because somebody's pissed at you. So you're like, okay, well, you can be mad at me, but here you go. I swear, I think the dude got PTSD from Luna. Like, I think the poor 40-pound dog has now bullied this poor man. But the point is, like, you can take stuff like that, and if you lighten up and go, dude, it's just funny. Like, there's no reason to be mad at a rescue mutt, just for existing. There's no reason to be mad at a volunteer. There's no reason to be upset because, we might drive something nice or whatever. But if you relax and just go, look, it doesn't, it's funny, and a lot of that stuff won't affect you. It's pranks. That's how we operate.
I think a lot of it is how, like, when people now, and this is something definitely getting older that's different than I was when I was younger, is like when I see that, when I'm on the receiving end of somebody that just is what we would call in 2024 is triggered by something you did, I don't retaliate now. I just look at it and go, man, I feel bad for for what they're going through. And I had an instance literally in the neighborhood. One of my neighbor's dogs used my front lawn as a toilet. So I texted him. And I was like, hey man, feel free to clean that up whenever you want to. And he told me, essentially, I think I could say this. He told me to F off over text. And my reply, I showed my wife and she's like, oh. And I was like, my reply was like, look, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's going on in your life where you think it's acceptable to text somebody that over this, but here's the law and the HOA law that says you can't do that. And I'll just take it to the next level if it's a problem, or you could just clean up after your dog like a decent human being. But again, I'll be thinking about you and I'm really sorry for what you're going through, because obviously it's something major if that's how you react to this. You know what I mean? So it's just a different way of dealing with it. And it totally shut him down. He didn't know what to say to that. You know what I mean? You're just like, whatever, man. Like, you got issues. They're not mine. So it's just funny. People get.
Hey, don't forget, you and Luna made the front page of the Air Reserve magazine, right?
Yeah, we were the front page of the website for
Trash to Treasure, right? They did a whole article.
They did a whole thing about us.
Look at that
on the Air Force Reserve. It's a terrible picture, but
it's
you really shouldn't take selfies while you're driving.
We weren't driving. We were stopped. We were stopped. We were sitting in traffic, stopped.
That's a close shave, man. Wow.
Yeah, that was back in the old 301st days.
Was it?
And yeah, she's a puppy there, dude. She's young.
Yeah, you're right.
That was back when we were still flying, but they're like, hey, do you have a picture of you in uniform? I'm like, really? You want that? Am I going to be in trouble? And
it's funny because I had videos of those, and
you didn't pretty sure y'all don't like that, but no. So PA here did an outstanding. I mean, they wrote like way better than I will ever deserve. But what's awesome is she paid tribute to Luna, and Luna's story of basically being a dumpster dog. You know, I mean, I've told this here before, but Luna was a rescue. Her litter was found in a gas station dumpster in a trash bag. Somebody had just, they had the puppies, put them in a trash bag, was hoping they'd just die, threw them away. And somebody found them, and then the rescue picked them up and brought them down here because it was a husky rescue. And I adopted her as a foster because I'm like, well, I'll try it. And at first I was going to bring her home because, the boys were older. They didn't seem to be kind of reacting to her or anything. And then, the rescue's like, no, it's only been, 5 days. You said 2 weeks, give it some time. And honestly, dude, turning around and driving back, number one, she was crying the whole way when I was trying to drive her back. And as soon as I got back home, she stopped crying, which is sign number one. But number two, it's the best decision I've ever made. She saved me in so many different ways, not just life, but career. The fact that we were on the front page of the Air Force Reserve website is a testament to how she has turned things around for me.
Yeah.
Because a year ago, I don't think any of the three of us or four of us would have ever expected my stupid face to be on the front page of Air Force Reserve Command website.
Behind
like
Mars, maybe
0% chance.
Well, I mean, if you had told me there was going to be a cute dog next to you, maybe. Like to offset.
Well, right. And the article's cool because, it talks about, kind of the new job that I've stepped into, which I was never going to make public. I was never going to talk about it because to me, it's not a public thing. It's not something I want people to feel comfortable being able to come to me and me be able to help them. And I don't want them to think anything associated with this channel because now what I do is not fly, but I'm an open door to allow people to get the help that I didn't get. I felt like, in this 2-year phase that I saw the bad side of things and I was like, if I can make any kind of change, this is the one I want to make. And I want to be able to help people. And sometimes institutionally you can't, and there's a lot of things you just can't do, but at least being able to listen to somebody and make them feel like they've been heard and make them feel like somebody at least cares and at least wants to try to help. Sometimes that's all they need. Sometimes they just need some level of validation that, hey, it's a bad situation. I'm going to do what I can within the law, just like I do in law enforcement, right? Just like when I go out and, with the sheriff's office on criminal patrol. Sometimes it's a civil matter. I can't do anything. Sometimes it's something that I don't have power to do, but I can at least listen to you and give you that shoulder, even if I don't do anything beyond that. And so sometimes I think that's all you need. And I didn't want to mix it across the streams, but the reason I shared it is because I'm proud of what we've done with Luna. That's been one of the greatest things I've done in the last, 10 years, is to be able to take her, train her, start a brand new program that nobody's ever done in this area, and then see the reactions and see the benefits that she's had with the community and how people just change. I mean, I've watched, handicapped kids who were afraid of dogs turn around and love her and become more comfortable in their own settings. And dude, there's no amount of money that can replace that. I mean, that's something, flying a fighter will never match that.
Yep.
That's it.
That's awesome, man.
So,
well,
yeah. All right. Big gulps, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, let's end this thing. We got some starred comments. Laura says, great show. Thanks, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
Tanner's back to the River Gonky show starring Wombat and Special.
Oh man, that'd be
Special was awesome.
That'd be a cancel special right
They're
there.
called Marines.
Little Marines running around.
Little Marine dudes.
Yeah.
Ann says, thanks, Mover and Gonky and Wombat. Look forward to Monday nights and listening to the conversations. Great.
Thanks.
John says, amen. Humor, albeit dark humor, sometimes is a coping mechanism that allows those who experience the worst in society to go home with some sense of sanity, do not internalize or suffer. Heck, even here, razzing each other is part of the brotherhood. No, we don't ever give each other any kind of...
No.
Jokes heal all wounds as long as it's funny. Does it have to be funny?
Yeah.
It's a perspective thing.
Has there been a Luna camp? I haven't seen her. She must be in bed.
She's in bed, dude.
She's a sleepy
100%.
girl. Walt,
thanks.
Thank you. Says, thanks for the great show, gents. Luna is pretty awesome. I agree.
Plexi, yeah.
Thanks, Plexi.
Thanks, man.
John says, miracles come with first sometimes. I'm 100% a believer in that. Dude, I had the two best dogs in the world and I lost them within 6 weeks. And I didn't know if you, again, a year ago, if you'd have said I'd have been on that website, that's one thing. But if you'd have said I'd lose both dogs in the same 6 weeks and been able to get through it, I'd have said there's no chance. But then because of her, it was okay. Laura says that other guy obviously feels threatened by, I don't know what the deal is, man. It's just like any agency, any organization's going to have that. Trust me. My whole career, I've seen this. D Stu says, today I was in a car accident. Oh my gosh. Not my fault, but car total. Cops were absolutely phenomenal. Sat with me and helped me through the day.
Glad you're okay, man.
Yeah. And I know this is like a cop story. My favorite cop video. Have you seen this, Gonky? Or Wombat? I'm sorry. Now I know we're going long, but this is like one of like the reasons I do this. I'd go volunteer. There was a trooper doing a traffic stop somewhere in the Northeast, and he gets there and the guy's crying because he's on the phone with the veteran suicide hotline, and the trooper's like, okay, you're okay. Get out of the car. He gets out of the car. He pats him down for weapons, and the guy's like, dude, I can't afford an ambulance. He's like, no, if we take you, we're going to pay for it or whatever. He's like, can I just get a hug? Because the guy, Army veteran that had seen some stuff and was on the verge of, being one of the 22 a day. And the trooper hugged him, dude. And it's like, I'm choking up just thinking about it, because that kind of human connection that you get to be able to help somebody, like saved that dude just by being a human, just by being a person. And, I know Wombat, you see that stuff with your Wake for Warriors as well.
Sure. You see it all the time though. I mean, it's the tiny little things that we can do for one another that they're seemingly insignificant, but they're not. You know what I mean? When somebody's going through something, that insignificant gesture is probably the biggest thing in their life that they'll remember forever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, be a good human. That's all you got to do.
It's not hard.
Human. Yeah. Spartan, did you roast Spartan?
I don't remember. Probably.
He does it so many people. He's like, I don't know. Probably.
Also, you're not that honored for $2. Let's be honest.
God, dude. Okay. Doug, parting shots
There you go.
before I hit the button.
Now you're roasted.
Yeah,
No,
boom,
I'm good.
roasted.
I'm good.
Gonky.
Maybe I'll pay Wombat
Oh,
$2 to roast me
No,
sometime.
hey, Wombat, thanks for coming.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for being on, man. And thanks everybody for joining us tonight. I know it's Monday with us.
Yeah. Way to start your week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
good.
a good week.
Real good.
Go get him. Go
All
nuts.
right. Have fun. See you next time.
We'll see you guys. Have a good one.
Asta.
See ya.